Thank you very much. Now we, at this point, want to invite the CEO to come and give us his speech.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Before I start my speech, I want to introduce my members of staff that have been working with me for the last financial year. So, my members of staff, karibuni. Susan, I need the members of staff quickly. I'll give them a mic to introduce themselves and say the department they are holding, so the members can know.
Kelvin Gitau, ICT.
Beatrice Wanjiro, the accountant.
Beatrice Gishure, internal auditor.
Susan Nyambura, operations manager.
David Moya, registry.
Jane Jerry, accounts.
Good morning. Monica Mudoni, branch manager.
Wahunjao, branch manager Kino.
Karimi Justa, credit manager.
Beth Wamboy, internal audit.
Julian Jerry.
Mary Kigoro, recovery officer.
Rehab.
Officer Kino.
Lucy Muthoni, credit officer Kikuyu branch.
Jerry Ngige, chief teller.
Davis Anyanga, BA Mwangige.
John Mugane, driver.
Purity Masharia, credit officer Nderi.
Sarah Njenga, credit officer Wangige branch.
Lucy Nguli, accounts.
Monica Kiminsoi, branch manager Kikuyu.
Habari, Titus Mwenda, credit officer.
Members have been left with the branch managers. These are people who are working with you directly. And we have Monica. Monica is heading the dairy branch. And she has been with us for, I think, of 13 years. So you have the experience in dairy. We have Lucy Wahu holding the two branches now in Kino, the new branch and the older branch. I'm saying we have Lucy Wahu. Lucy Wahu holding the two branches in Kino. That's the new branch that you're coming up with, and the older branch. Then we have a gentleman who is holding Wangige branch, and also from right left, Monica Kimisoi for Kikuyu branch. So members, when you go to these branches and you feel your services are not being met the way you wanted, I believe, ask for them. They will give you the ultimate service that you require. I will go to my report. The board chairperson, the board of directors, sub-county cooperative officers, invited guests, members, my fellow staff, good morning. I'm really glad to welcome NRS fraternity to this year's annual general meeting. I appreciate the fact that we found time to attend this very important meeting in our calendar of our society. Honorable members, the society leadership has taken the organization through tremendous milestone since the last AGM. The management has ably guided the society through a series of projects, activities aimed at ensuring that you get efficient, wholesome services as well as growth in your investment. Honorable members, our journey for getting the optimum status of the society depends on all the stakeholders playing their part. NRS is a vehicle that is capable of delivering us all to our financial freedom, but we will need fueling and services from each one of us. To this end, please allow me to pinpoint some of the areas of emphasis as follows. Strategic plan. Honorable members, earlier in the year, a strategic plan was launched. This is a blueprint of 5 years long journey, which is a guide as to how, where, and when each activity making up the plan will be accomplished. It also indicates the responsible officers for each of these activities. Honorable members, the management lay out an elaborate plan, but without your contribution, it will remain on paper. The management calls upon each member to contribute to the society according to their abilities so that the society can do well. Information and communication technology. No organization can operate in its current business environment without the use of information and communication technology. In our times, we are presented with advancement in technology in a way of better operating gadgets and efficient. Not to be left behind, and to take advantage of the market needs, which can be only be acquired or maintained by use of this advancement technology. The society is offering a wide range of services through the use of mobile phones and internet. Honorable members, by use of a mobile phone, you can now obtain a loan, transfer funds from your account in the society to other banks. You can view your statement as well deposit money to your account. The use of this technology is effective by freeing too much time our members so that you can concentrate on the business. Honorable members, it has been observed that our members do not use the transactional account which we call FOSA. In most times, members obtaining a loan will instruct the branch manager to transfer all the money to other financial institutions. Such members will argue that they will need to issue checks to various times on their project progress. Such a practice denies the society the much needed cash to boost liquidity. The society therefore comes up with a check solution or a checkbook, which is equivalent to one being offered by banks, recognized in the clearing systems with the same clearing days. Honorable members, let us, each one of us, make payment by use of NRS checkbook as a way of helping the society get the returns on the investments. The members are encouraged to look out for more products and services in future. Your leadership is doing this to ensure that the society offers flexible financial solutions in line with its mission. Branch expansion. Honorable members, in an effort to increase the wealth of the society and grow our membership, the society has planned to open another branch in the collective market later in this year. It is noted that it has been long since a new branch was established. This move is in line with our one strategic plan objective. It is intended that the expansion of the society's business through the opening of branches will be an ongoing initiative. The members are therefore encouraged to offer assistance on this front so that the members patronize these branches. Growth. One trajectory of growth would not have been possible without your effort. It is noted that together we can do more as there is potential within each one of us is immeasurable. Let's therefore make NRS a place where to go for our financial solution and I'm sure we will announce better results in the next AGM. Performance management system. Human resource is a vital asset in our organization. And I had an opportunity to work with a very resourceful team in the year under review. They often their services with an independent sense of duty and are most grateful. To ensure that they continue to give their best, the society have introduced a performance management system. This is a system to track the performance of employees consistently in a way can be measured reliably. By use of these systems, employees' ability, talents, can be harnessed for the benefit of the society. Furthermore, the system ensures that the staff in all functions work towards the efficient and efficient society is therefore to provide the effective and seamless services to our members. It supports all our members. This will support the how it operates. That being a savings and credit society, savings has to be mobilized so that funds are available for lending. When there are no funds, the management is forced to borrow at an exorbitant interest rate to ensure that the loan demands are met. The society needs to move towards a self-sufficient status by increasing the deposits. This can only be made possible if members make deposits in form of share deposits, forza deposits, fixed deposits, among others. This trend will ensure that the society cash supply is not inadequate at any particular time and will help in regulating liquidity ratio. It is therefore imperative that the society deposit book grows for the society to meet the demands from members, which are increasing every day. Loan delinquency. Members are encouraged to pay their loans installments as they fall due. The current situation is such that some members are falling behind their repayments, denying the society the much needed funds on lend, which encourages you to borrow wisely, pay promptly, as this practice will intensify the growth of your business and therefore grow our society. Non-claimed assets. The society is in possession of funds which has not been claimed to date. This refers to the balances of members who left several years ago and who did not leave contacts. Efforts have been made to get these contacts, and a small number of these former members have been contacted. We therefore call upon members contact their relatives, friends who left active membership to come up and update their details with the SACCO and therefore claim these funds. The amount, if unclaimed, will be surrendered to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFA. Appreciation. I thank you, honorable members, for the productive interaction we have had in the past year through phone calls and physically in our offices. You have given us invaluable insight. I will not forget the member who have found time to visit us online through NRS website. This has given us a great encouragement to continue using the modern technology to serve you better. Once again, I appreciate your presence here today, and thank you so much. Before I conclude, members, I want to appreciate some of our biggest shareholders. These are members with deposits above 2 million with the SACCO. And just kindly assist me with their tokens. I'll call upon our member from Keno branch, Stephen Ngoge Maura. Please come forward. Bwana Maura, I've seen you somewhere. Tumpigie makofi akikuja. Nashon Kidenji, member from Wangige. I don't know kama amefika. Member Salome Wangui Kamau, member from Kikuyu. Salome Wangui Kamau, I have seen you somewhere. Julius and Anthony, member from Keno. Mpigie makofi akikuja. Ruth Karaoke, our able chair. I want to call upon the representation from Delhi. Karaoke simama. Jane simama. Mbote simama. Bidan pia wewe. I have not earned any member with 2 million shares and above. You're the people representing people of Delhi. It's a challenge. You go back to the ground, have these deposits increased to at least 2 million. Ama namna gani members? Yes, and also to you members. Najua mnaweza fikisha, si ndio? Yes, so tuongeze kidogo. Kino has produced 2. And Kikuyu, the honorable member from Kino, Vice Chairman, simama wakujue. Apart from the directorship, he calls me and ananiambia tuonana nao members on the ground, ujue. Sini mnajua hivyo members okay no? Sini kweli? Also, Kikuyu, tuko na wawili. Simameni, the directors from Kikuyu Friend, John Samuel, and also chair. Thank you for so much also for giving support in that branch. We go to the members for Wangige. We have Nation, who is a member for Wangige. The representation of Wangige is Abwana Abraham. He is our own members. So I will need also support in that branch from you. You have care. So thank you so much. When we are having our solo meetings, there are issues that were coming up about medical insurance. Si mnakumbuka members? Na mlikuwa mnauliza, because you have introduced a benevolent fund, why are we not being given an opportunity to have a medical insurance within the society? And I told you, I'll get someone who will partner with, actually who has been our partner, to take you through this. And him, what you'll do, you'll give you the benefits that you are getting from this medical insurance. You might not be having the money to pay, but that's where we are here as membership of the SACCO. Ukiona umelemewa kulipa, si branches nimeonyesha branch managers. Kimbia kwa waambia nilipie insurance, ndio niweze kuwa kwa nini? Kwa ile cover. So this is a win-win solution for everyone, whereby CAC are providing the cover, our members are benefiting from the medical cover, and we are making sure that our members are healthy by helping them meet their premiums. So Bwana Mugambi from CIC, kuja ongea na members kidogo. Tumpigie makofi akikuja.
Honorable members and the board of directors and the sub-county cooperative officers, good morning. Habari zenu? Nashukuru sana. Mimi nimefurahia. Kwa majina naitwa Dickson Mugambi. Nafanya kazi na CAC Insurance Company. That is the Cooperative Insurance Company Limited. Na sijakuja peke yangu. Before I do the presentation, I want to introduce my team. Wenye tumekuja nao leo. Mimi nimekuwa relationship officer of NRS SACCO since I joined CAC in 2014. Kafika mahali, nikapatiwa kuwa head of Tier 1 SACCOs, nikaweka NRS pale kwa sababu nyinyi ni watoto wangu na nimetembea na nyinyi hiyo safari na tunafurahia sana. So with me niko na Mary Drango, simama wave. Mary is a SACCO assurance officer. She's in charge of retail business. Wenye mko na magari zenu, mnataka kuchukua insurance, we have partnered with the SACCO and we are offering the best services. So Mary tutawapatia namba yake, wenye mko na magari, mko na watoto wandogo mnataka wachukuliwe education policies, mko na manyumba zenu mnataka kuchukua insurance, mko na biashara mnataka kuchukua insurance, through NRS SACCO we have enabled you to access all our products through the SACCO Assurance Partnership, and Mary is in charge of that docket. Tumpigie makofi. Then we have our Able Relationship Officer, Hannah Njambi Mbitu. Hannah is under my team, and she's now currently the Relationship Officer of NRS SACCO. Sasa mimi niko hapo juu nikiangalia na kuwasaidia mahali tunaendelea mbele. So to the board of directors, thank you very much for giving us an opportunity. Nimefurahi, sijawahi enda AGM nipate hall imejaa hivi. It means you people are focused. Munaangalia mahali yenu vizuri. Jipigieni makofi kwa hiyo. Asanteni sana. So jambo la kwanza kuhusu medical insurance cover. Mnajua medical saa hii ni kitu ambayo imekuwa of high need. Ni kitu ambayo hatuwezi epukana nayo. Lakini nafika mahali hatuwezi ipata kwa sababu ya the purchasing power ama ile premium ambayo inakuwa charged. Sasa tunataka kuwapatia an opportunity as NRS SACCO members. We have two types of products. Number one, kuna ile tunaita family medisure. Family medisure is an individual insurance cover. Unaweza jichukulia wewe peke yako, pamoja na watoto wako na mzee wako. The benefit ya inpatient ile ya kulazwa hospitali, it ranges from 300,000 to 10 million. Lakini what determines the premium? Number one, it is your age. Kama uko below 60 years, you can be able to get that cover. Inaitwa family medisure. Wenye mko above 60 years, tulieni kidogo, bado tuko na solution. Lakini kwanza, we address the ones below 60 years. So mtu anaweza chukua ile cover na inamsaidia kwa maneno ya chronic illnesses, normal inpatient cover, and other many other benefits. Na jambo ambalo ningetaka kusema, medical bills tumeona zinafanya mtu anauza shamba, unakuja kwa society, umechukua loan kubwa ndio ulipe medical expenses. Ni kweli? Lakini unaweza sacrifice a small premium, unachukua cover kubwa ambayo itachukua hiyo mzigo yako. Inaitwa tu kujipanga pole pole. Kwa hivyo tutapatiana more details, and what I would encourage, let members who are interested, tutapatiana the template. Muko na branches everywhere. Nimesikia muko na Nderi, muko na Kikuyu, muko na Kino, muko na Wangige. Sindio? Members in their respective branches, we will request you to give us your details. Tutacombine hizo maneno yote. I know you have a way of communicating. Then we see what can we do. What benefits can we be able to offer, so that those who can be able to pay for those premiums wanaweza chukua ile cover. Jambo la pili, tuko na product inaitwa micro insurance medical cover. Inaitwa afya bora. Afya bora insurance policy hii ya medical tuliileta ndio iweze kuchukua wale ambao hawawezi afford the high premiums zenye ziko under Medisure. So afya bora tunahitaji only 10 members of the society to start with. Lakini mwenye anataka kubenefit lazima akuwe among the 10 or more members at the inception. Policy ikianza hivi, kama hujakuwa hapo ndani, utangoja mpaka the following year. We don't have additions within the insurance period. Uzuri wa hii cover ni nini? Iko na inpatient limit ya 250,000 na iko na outpatient ya 50,000 na iko na inbuilt maternity benefit na iko na funeral expense ya 50,000. The waiting period ya hii cover ni 30 days for normal illnesses and normal inpatient cases. What is the premium payable? Those benefits ni 35,000. 35,000 if you divide by 12 ni kama unalipa 3,000. Na hiyo ni pesa ambayo society inaweza wasaidia kuchukua hiyo cover, alafu mnalipa society pole pole. Because your society is there to help you when you are still alive. So afya bora ina cover wewe kama principal member, inachukua your spouse, a maximum of 5 children. Children should be 18 years and below. And the principal members should be 60 years and below. Na kwa hivyo, that product is available, and we would encourage for us to start off. Unajua lazima kwanza kuna ile mseme inasemekananga, you can start small as you grow big. Si ndio kweli? Kwa sababu hii it is very much affordable. Members can subscribe as many as possible. We start off and see how the cover will sort you out. Then on that regard again, we require some more details from the members who are interested for us to be able now to roll out the product. Ni kitu nimejaribu na society mingi sana and it is working. But wengi wanasema insurance hawalipi claims. I can testify to you, sisi ndio tumeinsure your loan portfolio. Na hakuna claim tumebaki nayo hatujalipa society. The other day I saw we paid a claim of almost 4 million for a member of the society who passed on. So CAC tuko pale kama cooperative insurance company, muko na shares, you are a shareholders. Sababu umeona kampuni imeanza kupanda, we are making profit kama NRS. Na tuone tukirudi nyuma, tunataka pia sisi kuwapea dividends. So you support us, we support you, we walk the journey together. Members above 60 years, up to 80 years. Pia nyinyi tuko na solution yenu. We have rolled out a seniors medical plan ambayo iko out there, very competitive and very cost friendly. What we just require is you to show your interest, then tutakuguide for the process. Remember, as you age, kuna vitu mingi sana happen kwa maisha ya binadamu. Si kweli? Na tunataka kutembea hiyo safari na nyinyi. The first time we rolled the product, sometime last year, we got a subscription of over 2,000 people who were interested. And we are in the process of onboarding them. So when you muko 60 years and above, and you would want a medical cover again, please let us get your details. Then we guide you on the procedure, and then tuweze kuwapatia hiyo cover. Na hizi vitu zote tunasema, they are not in vain. As CIC, we have a partnership that in the event tukipata biashara za insurance kutoka kwa members, there is a share in commission that we normally do. Wewe sahi ukiwa na gari yako, maybe uende through an agent or a broker. Hiyo broker atakula hiyo commission yote. Lakini sisi tunasema ukikuja through the SACCO and through CAC, tunagawanya hiyo commission. SACCO inapata kiasi fulani na yule officer mwenye anawapatia service naye anapata kiasi fulani. So we want to increase your dividends. These are opportunities which are available out here. SACCOs are looking for ways of making money, and SACCO assurance has been one of the most avenues that SACCOs have ventured into, and it is working because we are paying commissions to the SACCO, and that is going back to your income as a society. Maybe to finalize on my presentation, I would also want to say that as CIC, na vile tumefanya, we have given proposal to the board of directors, and probably it is an idea that they thought about the members, and so right now we are covering the funeral cover for the members at 100,000. But how can we expound that to extend to the family members and the parents and parents-in-law? So CIC has come up with a solution, and we'll be covering, the board will be able to make that proposal to you as members so that you can be able to adopt it. And what we are saying is that we will be covering a 50,000 for the principal, 50,000 for the spouse, 50,000 for a maximum of 4 children in a family, and the parents and parents-in-law. The children must be within the age of 3 months to 18 years, but up to 24 years if they're in school. Then the parents and parents-in-law must be 75 years and below at the point of entry of the cover, and we'll cover them up to a maximum of 80 years. The principal members and the spouses must be 70 years and below. We cover 1 spouse per member. Adopted children, unless you have proper documentation, we only cover the biological children that you have. This cover is there to help you send the burden in the event you lose a lovely one. And again, as CAC, we have come with that solution. So thank you very much, members, and we are looking forward to continuing supporting you and in giving you best services. Asanteni sana.
Senior habari mzuri, members. So go to our branches. We have this representative from CAC. Na usikae nyumbani sababu una pesa. That's why we have the SACCO. Since our members, if you feel the burden of paying the premium is high, wacha tukupatie karon, ulipe premium, you'll be left with the SACCO. I won't take questions immediately because of time, but I will have a desk outside for those questions. We also have a guest, another guest, who is our financiers. If you look at my report, one of the biggest challenges that we have is deposits. And when we have a challenge of deposits, and we are a savings and credit society, and members are borrowing loans, we tend to go and borrow somewhere. And where we borrow, we don't borrow directly from the banks because of the interest rates. We borrow from our SACCO, which is Cusco. So please, simama and wave to our members.
The Ministry Cooperative Officer, Madam Chair, and your board, CIC, our good friends, Auditor, and honorable members, good morning. My name is Mary Njuguna. I am a Cusco representative. Sisi ndio tunawapatia pesa. And was this just introduction, or you're going to give me another chance? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Eli. I want to call the MC to take us in the next step. And please, the booklets that we have, the last page, kuna mahali unaweza andika zile maswali uko nazo. Take time, write your questions so that we answer them together. Sindio? Yes.
Thank you very much, CEO. Now, as we go through the CEO's speech and the chair's speech in what you call the matters arising, I would ask that the supervisory, you be ready because you'll be next. Then we'll call you. Now, the CEO's speech, I would ask that we adopt it by having a proposer and a seconder. Please, let's have a proposer and a seconder for the CEO speech. That, yes, the name? Seconder? Yes. Sorry? Bernard. Thank you. And now we go to also the chair's speech. Why I brought it, yes. Samuel Nyanja, very quick in Samuel Nyanja, thank you Samuel Nyanja. 5581 for the chair's speech. Seconder? Let's adopt this report quickly so that we may go to the matters arising. Yes. 215? First name? Laban. Thank you very much, Laban. Now, let's go to the page 12. Now in page 12, that is the chairperson's speech. And in regard to the chairperson's speech, there was a question that was asked by member 38490 as regards to the property that we have in Delhi. And I would wish for quickly explanation. I would ever ask Mr. Karaoke. Yes. Please explain.
Good morning, members. Okay, in regard to question from the member from Delhi, Mr. Peter, as to the issue of the construction of the head office, there is a court case, but it is not pertaining the property in question, that is 1510, whereby it is a property of NRS SACCO. The time we joined the board, the first thing we did is to do thorough audit of all our assets, and among the result for the auditing, we found that one of the property, zile mashamba ziko Nderi, there were 16 plots. One of them and was in possession from a member. Na tumesikia chair amesema ya kwamba the disruption of the zonal meeting in Delhi, the city member is the one who had brought that issue, and because the case is in court, and if you go through the minutes for the AGM from the year 2014, 2015, 2016, in 2016 the members resolved unanimously at an AGM, which is supreme, that if there is a plot that has never been paid, it should be repossessed because it was never paid. When we audited, tulipata kuko na plot ilikuwa imechukuliwa na one of the member, Mr. Mukara Munio, and majority of you are familiar with him. And immediately we noted that akakimbia after 14 years, akaenda akaweka pesa kwa cooperative bank na family bank. Akatupea check ya family bank, akaenda akadeposit through our collection account in cooperative bank. Na alikuwa wakati tumeingia tukapata kosi iko kotini. He had incited wale watu walikuwa wamenunua hizo plots zenye ziko pale Delhi. And the case has been dormant for 2 years. Then after he deposited ile pesa for 14 years, and we know there is a statutory way you can buy properties. Si kweli? Whereby it is 90 days. And wakati tulienda kotini, kesi ikapelekwa mpaka mwezi wa 5. We fenced the property. We leased it this year. And from there, akakuja akabomoa. And because we have some resolutions, kwa sababu amesubua hii board kabisa. And out of that, we even suspended one of the board members in respect to that. Kwa sababu mkichagua board, si tuko supposed kwenda na njia moja, si ndio? Out of that, we suspended one of the member because of that, such that we are able to protect your property. Si kweli? Na tukiachilia property ya more than 15 million ipotee hivyo. And out of that, the matter is in court, even if we are not even supposed to discuss it. But we are the sole owner, NRS the sole owner of that property, Sigona 15 or 7. And the board is elected to ensure that the assets, the liabilities of NRS are being protected. Hatugeenda kwa njia yenye anayofaa, ametusubua, tumeenda polisi mara mingi, a lot of insults to the board members, even to our able chair. I can remember the first time we were elected, in the month of July. We were elected in July. We invited the said member to our meeting. Tukamwambia leta receipt. Akatwambia sitape nyinyi kwa sababu mko nazo. We audited our system. This system. There was a SACCO manager. We did a thorough audit. We had the ASMAS, and we have Navision Business 365, which we are currently using for the last like 3 years ago. Na tukapata hakuna pesa alikuwa ameli, na tukiachilia mali yenu ipotee, si kweli? Na wakati tutakuwa kwa hiyo resolution, we are requesting you members, you support us, because akitupeleka kotini, dividend na sana interest on deposit inapunguza, kwa sababu badala ya tulipe nyinyi dividend mzuri, tunaenda kulipa wakili. We require your support. And in our today's meeting, he had sent a notice. Akaleta anataka kuongea na members, aone kama atapata sympathy, but he brought in the notice when it is late. The bylaw is very categorical. If you want to have your issues discussed as an AOB, you are supposed to send a notice 14 days before. He brought it on 15th. Silikuwa imeshapitwa. But tukija kwa AOB, we are going to discuss on that issue, and that is why the member mwenye alikuwa ameattend zono ya Delhi alikuwa anataka kujua kwa nini. He is going loud because it's categorical to say that. At hii board inataka kujenga and kwa ile property iko pale. And it is not bad because we have gotten all approvals, na tumekuja kwa zonal meeting, getting your support such that we can be able to accommodate our plaza instead of paying in nyumba iko hapa Kigui, pay 150,000, almost 1.9 million per calendar year. And we want to distance ourselves from that, ndio tupate mapato yenye at the end of the year we are able to give it as dividend to your members. So that is a matter that was in contest. I don't know whether you want to add anything else.
Members, just kitu kidogo. Kila mtu amenunua shamba hapa, si kweli? You are always given a specific time ya kulipa shamba. Na hii shamba, they were being sold in 2006, valued at 1.2 million. members, can you allow after 14 years in 2020 mtu anunue hiyo shamba at 1.2? Is it possible? So tulisema maswali tuandike pasini, we have somewhere. So I know an emphasis will be made by supervisory chairperson and MC.
Thank you very much. Yes, najua maswali zile tumekuwa nazo venye tumeelezwa na CEO, tuandike kwa kitabu, then at the right moments, because as you can see, we'll be having in our agendas, agenda number 5 on a resolution, it is touching on that, so you'll be given an opportunity to ask. Thank you. Now, I'll go quickly on the matters rising on the chairperson's speech, which is page 12. And I'll start on the members' borrowing. Do we have any question on that one? Share mobilization is number 2. Thank you. Page 13. I'll skip number 3 because we've already spoken about it. And also number 4 because it is part of our agenda on the Keno relocation. I go to member education. These are the zonal meetings that we had a couple of weeks ago for the 4 zones. Do you have any question on that one? Or any input? Because I know really you really came out and we had you and you minuted what your concerns and which we promised to address. If no question, then I go to, and I skip number 6 again because on the bylaw amendments, it forms part of our agendas today. And I quickly go to page 15 on the CEO speech, which captures the strategic plan and ICT. Any question, clarification on that one? If no, then page 16. Number 3 we skip because it's also part of a branch expansion, but this one also touches on Dagoretti. Any question on that one? Growth, performance management system. Agency banking. Challenges, the deposits, loan delinquency, and unclaimed assets. Just wait. CEO, just wait. On the challenges, any question on that one? Because I would want CEO to expound more on the NCA, non-claimed assets. CEO, explain.
Members, there is a government body called UFA, or Unclaimed Financial Assets. It has been vocal in the banks, and you know, sometimes politically the government uses it to claim these assets, but it's also coming to the SACCOs. UFA is looking at that member who deposited savings in his account and has not touched that account for the last 5 years, or what we are calling dormant members. So please, members, you may know a person who has savings in the SACCO since 2019 going back. Please alert them, or could you deposit something small or update the account so that at least this money is not claimed by the government. Tuko pamoja, members? Yes. Hata pia kama uko na account yako na iko dormant, weka hata kama ni 500, at least there is a transaction. Sawa, members? Yes.
Thank you very much. Tumeelewa hayo? Asanteni sana. Now, Having proposed and seconded, that marks what you call an adoption of both speeches. Now, at this time, I invite our supervisory. Karibu, Mr. Mbote.
Kwanza ningetaka nitambue mwenyekiti wa board, directors wenzangu, wageni mlioalikwa, wafanyikazi wa NRS na members, hamjambo. Kwa majina naitwa Bote. Yesu ni Bwana, nimeokoka. Nina furaha siku ya leo kujua ya kwamba kuna wale ambao tulianza na wao lakini kwa njia ingine, kwa hii ama ile, hawako nasi. Kwa hivyo sisi tuko hai siku ya leo, ni mapenzi yake Mwenyezi Mungu. Supervisory, kama mnavyokumbuka, bodi iliyokuwa hapo mbele mliondoa na mkachagua wale sasa tuko na wao. Wengi wao hawakuwa wanaelewa kazi ya ushirika, na imekuwa ni changamoto hapa na pale, na tumewaonyesha tukafanya kazi tukiwa pamoja. Na hata siku ya leo supervisory tuko na furaha sababu wengi wao wameshakuwa wamehitimu vizuri na kazi yetu ya ushirika inaendelea vizuri. Katika kazi zetu ambazo tunafanya kama supervisory, tuliweka katika azimio la misingi mitatu. Kwanza, tukasema ushirika wetu uwe mbele. Hakuna sasa kurudi nyuma wala upande. Na kama sasa wale ambao wamezungumza hapo mbele wakisema zile property zote za ushirika ni lazima ziwekwe vizuri, pesa zenu ziangaliwe vizuri, na tufanye kazi kwa mujibu uliowekwa. Jambo la pili, tukasema hata bwana CEO ndio tuko naye hapa, kasema ni lazima sasa angalie wale wafanyikazi anafanya na wao. Yeye ndiye anaambia bodi, huyu anahitimu, anataka afanyie katika kiwango hiki, ipoza ushirika wetu uweze kuinuka. Na tukipata makosa tukamwambia ni wewe, tutakuwa tunaambia ni wewe, tutakuwa tunaraumu. Jambo la tatu na la mwisho, hao directors tukamwambia kwa sababu sasa tumeshashika nanga vizuri, tutakuwa tunakagua mtu kibinafsi. Wezi ukachaguliwa ndio uje sasa ukae kwa kiti. Ni lazima tuone value addition. Wanafanya kazi vizuri, na hata siku ya leo tuna furaha kusema ya kwamba kazi yenu inaendelea vizuri. Sisi na mwenzangu, chairman wangu, tunafanya tukiwa wawili, kwa sababu moja aliye tabia zake zilimfanya akaweza kuondolewa kama wale wengine. Na sisi tumesimama na ule msemo wa Kikuyu unasema thegereigere itire magone mwato. Tumechapa kazi na kazi imeendelea, na tunajua, tuna imani ya kwamba siku ya leo utatupatia mtu wa tatu ili tuweze kufanya kazi vizuri kuliko vile tumefanya mwaka huu. Nimeangalia sasa ripoti yetu na tumekubaliana na chairman wangu, tukaona ya kwamba badala ya mimi nisome yote kama vile sasa hizo zingine za hapo mbele hamutafuata vizuri. Kwa hivyo yale mambo ambayo tumeweka kipaumbele ni katika ukurasa wa pili. Nadhani kila mtu ameangalia yale mambo ambayo tumeyafanya, ende uipitie, ukiona kuna swali lolote utauliza. Na kwa sababu sasa chairman wangu atakuja hapa na ataongea yale mambo ambayo tumeyafanya kwa kidani, ningetaka kwa nini sitaisoma, lakini nitaalika chairman wangu aendelee na kuwaambia yale mambo supervisory tumefanya. Bwana Kamau.
God is good and all the time. Na wasalimu wote, DCIO, chairperson, board wenzangu, invited guests na members wote na staff. Yangu ni machache kwa sababu hatutasoma hii kitabu kwa sababu mimi najua ni watu ambao mmesoma na mjua mmeenda through, mmeona ile maneno tumetaja hapa na pale. Kwa hivyo yangu tu ni kugusia ile ambayo na kuweka mkazo ile ambayo tumeweka kwa hii kitabu. Kwa hivyo tumeorodhesha ile vitu ambao tumekaa na board tukazungumza na tukakubaliana, na tunataka kusema tukiwa supervisory that would like to report that the board agreed with its findings and recommendation in most of the issues raised and committed to have them actioned in action on. Some of the items were cross satisfactory and several of them are still being implemented. Supervisory will review their status in the course of the year 2022. Nevertheless, from the long list of the inventory, kuna mambo kadhaa tungetaka kuuzia na ndio tumeorodhesha kidogo. Kwa kwanza tulikuwa tumesema mambo ya overall performance. Tuko na imani na hii board na tumeona vile wamejitolea, na hii imedhihirika kutokana na ile report tutasomewa na auditors. Lakini kwa ufupi, hata kama tulikuwa na shida na ile kiangazi tulikuwa nayo, SACCO yetu iliendelea kudumu na tumepata mapato. Mnajua kuna banki mingi hata SACCO mingi ambao hawakuripoti profit yoyote, lakini sisi tuko na furaha ya kwamba at least tuna kitu ya kujivunia, na kulingana na record zetu members wamekuwa na 18%. Hiyo ni kitu ya kujivunia. Members deposit pia increase na 20%. Share capital yetu imekuwa na 15%. Loan to members pia imeimarika na 46%. Total revenue imeimarika na 34%, na surplus mwaka imekuwa na 25%. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni jambo la kujivunia. Pia ningetaka kuweka mkazo kwa hii nyumba, the new office ya Keno. Niseme sisi tukiwa supervisory tumeangalia vile hiyo ofisi imekuwa na tumeona imejengwa kwa kisasa, na pia hata pahali iko tumeangalia na tukaona ni pahali imefaa. Mkazo mwingine ni hii loan performance. Tumeangalia loan zetu kadhaa na tumeona hii loan watu wameikubali na tunajivunia kwa sababu it has grown by 439%. Pia quick fix imekuwa na 8%, na tunasema hizi loan they are normally available anytime anywhere. Ukitaka hii loan kidogo kidogo, sio lazima ukimbie kwa Fuliza ulipe hiyo ada kubwa. Sisi tuko na hiyo pesa na inaweza patikana wakati wowote. Pia tumeangalia refinance na development na foster loans, na pia hata hizo zimekuwa juu. Na pia tunataka kusema kwamba loan repayment ya 2021 ukilinganisha na 2020 imeimarika kidogo. Lakini kwa bahati mbaya pia kuna watu wengi wamechukua loans lakini wamefifidia kidogo kulipa hizo maroon, na most of them are lagging behind. Na tunataka kuweka mkazo kwamba wakati members hawalipi loan in time, tunakuwa penalized kwa sababu inatubidi to make a provision, na hiyo provision tunaiweka kutoka kwa ile mapato ambayo tumepata. Kwa hivyo ningetaka kuhimiza members tujaribu tuwe tunalipa loans zetu vile vinafaa. Lakini pia tukiangalia mwaka wa 2021 tumejaribu kidogo kwa sababu defaulters zetu zimekuwa kidogo kilikanisha na 2020 kwa sababu 2020 zilikuwa 21 million 22 million na imeenda kidogo to 21 million, that is about 4%. Lakini tunataka kutilia mkazo watu waajibike. Ukichukua loan uhakikishe kwamba umelipa hiyo loan, ndio wa members wengine wasiumie. Pia ningetaka kuweka mkazo kwa product patronage. Wakati tunakutana kama vile tulikuwa tumekutana kwa zono, zile education meeting tunakuanga nazo, huwa tunasikiza vile members wanasema, na huwa wakati wa kutengeneza products zinatengenezwa kulingana na vile members maoni members walikuwa wamepeana, na saa zingine most of those products zinatengenezwa kulingana na ile mahitaji ya members. Kwa hivyo ni mzuri wakati unaenda kwa branch manager uwe unamwambie vile unataka, mtakaa na yeye, mtazungumza na yeye, na yeye pia ataweza kukuambia ile loan ambayo inakufaa, ndio tuwe tuna patronize kwa products zingine, kwa sababu hizo products zote zimewekwa hapo kwa sababu yenu. Ile mkazo mwingine tunataka kuweka ni ile court cases. Hata kulingana na vile tumeona toka 2021 to 2022 tukilinganisha kesi zetu zimeenda chini, lakini pia tunataka kuweka mkazo kwa sababu kazi yetu sio ya kwenda koti. Sisi members wote tumekusanyika ndio tusaidiane, na ni mzuri kama mambo mengine tunafaa to solve them bila necessarily kwenda kwa kosi, na ndio tunahimiza hapa all the disputes tukiweza tuwe tuna sort outside the court, kwa sababu kwenda kotini ni gharama kwa huyo member na pia kwa members wote, na tungetaka pia hiyo suluhisho ipatikane kwa haraka. Lakini kuna members wengine wanaonanga ni heri waende kwa koti, na ndio tunauliza members sasa, kwa sababu hii maneno ya koti imekuwa gharama kubwa sana kwetu. Tunauliza members wapitishe resolution ya kwamba mtu akiamua hataki tusikizane, hataki matakwa yake iangaliwe kidani, akitaka kwenda kotini, kwa sababu tunajua ile gharama itakuwa, huyu member tuwe tunamruhusu sasa atoke kwa kikayo yetu, ndio hata pia aweze kushughulikia hiyo kesi. Kwa hiyo ni mambo moja ambao mtaiangalia, na ikiwezekana tuipitishe, kwa sababu haja yetu sio kwenda kotini. Ile ingine ningetaka kuweka mkazo sana ni bylaws. Mkiangalia bylaws zetu hatujaziangalia kwa muda. The last amendment was done in 2012, na najua wakati huo tuliweza tu kupitisha ile provision ya quorum, na mambo mingi sana haikushughulikiwa. Na hii bylaws ndio inatupatia mwongozo, ndio inaangalia maslahi yetu tukiwa members. Kwa hivyo tunawahimiza muiweke manani, mjaribu tujadiliane sisi wote. Kuna kamiti ambayo imewekwa ambayo itakuwa inaendelea kuchukua maoni yenu, na mengi tumeyachukua kutoka kwa zonal meetings na tutaendelea. Kwa hivyo kipao mbele members ndio muwe mnajivunia hiyo document, na pia iwe inaimarisha na inaangalia matakwa yenu vilivyo. Kwa hivyo yetu kama supervisory ni kuwahimiza muparticipate na muwe kipaumbele kwa hiyo majadiliano. Mnakumbuka wengi wenu tulitoa board imetoa strategic plan ambayo itatuongoza kutoka 2022 to 2026. Mambo mingi iligusiwa, na kuna ile mpangilio ambao board inataka ndio iweze kupeleka hii SACCO hatua mbele. Kwa hivyo yetu kama supervisory ni yale tu ambayo tumewahi kujadiliana na tumewahi kuweka kwa hiyo review, tuwe tunaizingatia na tusikane sisi wote hata members, na tuangalie kwamba ile ambao tumeweka ikiwa kwa kiwango chini pia imeangaliwa, ndio tuweze kuhimiza na kuhitimisha ile tumeweka kwa hiyo document. Pia ningetaka kusema kwamba SACCO yetu inakuanga kwa na usimamizi chini ya usimamizi wa bodi mbili. Moja inaitwa SASRA, na pia tuko chini ya Ministry ya Cooperative, na wote wana requirements. Kuna zile standards ambao sisi kama SACCO lazima tutimishe, ndio tukikaguliwa tuwe na idhini ya kuendelea. Mambo mingi na most of the requirement tumehitimiza, na zile ambao hatujatimiza board wanajaribu vilivyo, lakini board haiwezi fanya hivi kama hatuna support ya members. Na ndio mnaona kulingana na report ya CEO na pia ya chairman wamegusia mambo ya share deposit, mambo ya share capital, because those ratios zinaangaliwa kulingana na zile pesa ambao tunatoa ile deposit yetu, na kama hizo ratios haziambatani na requirements za SASRA ama cooperative, mara mingi tutakuwa na shida, na sana sana hata kama hii mjengo tunataka kufanya ya Delhi, ndio tupate idhini kutoka SASRA, lazima ratios zile ambao zimewekwa tuwe tumezingatia. Kwa hivyo lazima tutie bidii, kama ni share capital na share deposit, tujaribu ndio tu boost hii SACCO. Kwa hivyo vile tunaomba kama supervisory ni kwamba board imeintroduce the fixed deposit, na interest yake iko juu hata kuliko ile yote unaweza pata kwa bank. Kwa hivyo tunaomba members badala ya kupeleka pesa zao kwa bank zingine, wakuje walete hizo pesa kwa fixed deposit, utapata a good return, na pia tutaimarisha SACCO yetu. Pia tunaomba members wa increase their share deposit, pia the share capital, na mnakumbuka tulikubaliana in the last AGM kwamba kila mtu ajaribu afikishe 15,000 ndio tuone kama hizi ratio zetu zitakuwa juu. Pia kuna product kama mjengo na asset loans. Pia tunaomba members wajaribu kupatronize on those products, ndio tuweze kuwa tuna achieve hiyo ratios ambao imekuwa recommended by our regulators. Kwa hivyo kwa ufupi, kuna a few recommendations tumefanya. Moja ni kuhusu vile tunaweka vitabu zetu, vile the controls zetu ambao vile ziko, na ndio tunasema internal controls vis-a-vis budget should not increase beyond the allocated vote head. Pia mapato ya allowances ya board should commensurate with the shareholders' return on investment, generated income, and guided by budget allocation. Pia tunasema elected board members must be people with the required ability for value addition. Board should also respect working policies and guidelines and bylaws to tame all the necessary expenditure. Pia tunataka to embrace modern technology, ndio tusiachwe nyumba na SACCO zingine. Then periodical benchmarking with marketing evaluation to remain focused in the business to be embraced by all shareholders. Then educational mobilization, pia tunataka members wawe educated, staff wawe educated. Kwa hivyo tunahimiza board ikuwe na mipango kamili, tuhakikishe kwamba members wetu wamesomeshwa vilivyo. Ya mwisho ningetaka kuguzia maneno ya hizi plot za Sigona. Members issue no ya 211 nĩ ũndũ wa wĩna kĩeha tondũ tũrarĩrĩria ũhoro wa members 16 magũrire shares otha makĩgũra plot, ti ithuothe twahotire kũgũra plot, no rĩu plot ici ciahanire tarĩ maithori kũrĩ ithuĩ, no ndĩmwĩre members harĩ plot icio 16 mbeca iria SACCO yonire kana yagĩrĩirwo nĩ kuona thutha wa kwendia plot icio ciothe ciarĩ mirioni 14,650. Mbeca icio itirĩ ciarĩhĩka ciothe. SACCO yoire rũni ĩkĩgũra mũgũnda ũcio, andũ arĩa makuire plot icio makĩremwo nĩ gũcirĩha gwa kahinda karĩa kagĩrĩire, magĩcoka ningĩ magĩcoka bengi makĩoya rũni rũngĩ. No nyende kũmwĩra haha atĩ thutha wa kwendia plot icio gũtirĩ kĩndũ SACCO yonire. Rĩu ũndũ ũrĩa wĩ kĩeha nĩ atĩ kũrĩ andũ acio maheirwo plot, kũrĩ andũ matarĩhire mbeca cia kũgũra plot ĩyo. Na rĩu angĩkorwo nĩ SACCO nĩ yoire rũni nĩgetha ũhote tũgũre plot ĩyo, ũcoke ũtuĩke ndũracokia mbeca iria ciahũthĩrirwo nĩ SACCO, hathara nĩ yaingĩrire gwĩ SACCO, na no tũrathiĩ na mbere na kũgĩa na hathara tondũ rĩrĩa ũtatũrĩhĩte mbeca icio ciagĩrĩirwo ithuĩ tũrutaga wĩra wa kũhe andũ marũni nĩgetha tũthondeke mbeca kwĩ members. Koguo angĩkorwo wĩna mbeca icio ndũrĩhĩte SACCO, ndũngĩthiĩ na mbere ũkiugaga atĩ wĩna plot, tondũ plot icio ciothe tiga iria irirĩtwo kwĩ members, plot icio ciothe ina marĩtwa ma NRS. Na nĩ mwahĩtũkirie in 2017 mũndũ ũrĩa wothe ũtarĩhĩte plot yake wĩna rũtha rwa kuoya plot ĩyo. Rĩu handũ ha mũndũ ateng'ere oige niĩ ndakĩhĩngĩcĩkire ndaregire kũrĩha plot, eciririe wega nĩ gũthiĩ igoti-inĩ. Rĩu no gũtuongerera aratuongerera maithori tondũ gũthiĩ igoti-inĩ it involve cost, no igoti nĩ rĩagĩtua but the plot is still under the name of SACCO. No njoke njuge harĩ andũ acio 16 hena andũ angĩ 6 acio nĩ marĩhĩte mbeca cia kũgũra plot, no nao matirĩhĩte mbeca cia process tondũ SACCO yacokire ĩgĩcoka ĩkĩrĩha mbeca cia gũthondekithia lease, na lease icio ciothe ikoretwo itayarĩ kuma 2016 gũtirĩ lease ĩtarĩ tayarĩ. Koguo twĩna mĩaka ĩngĩ 6 tũrĩhĩire andũ acio hakuhĩ 1,500,000 tũmarĩhĩire matitũcokeirie. Koguo no tũrahinyĩrĩka SACCO nĩ gũkorwo nĩ twahũthĩrire mbeca citũ na aya matihotete gũtũcokeria nĩgetha tondũ wĩra witũ ti wa kwendia mĩgũnda na wĩra witũ ti wa gũtunyana. Ithuĩ wĩra wa ona ngwĩciria komiti ĩyo yarĩ ho hĩndĩ ĩyo yendaga kũinua maica ma andũ tondũ nĩ hagĩa na mũgũnda na nĩ mũgũnda prime, no kwenda yendaga gũteithĩrĩria members. No rĩu no njũrie members ĩtĩkĩre kũhĩtũkia tondũ na mbeca icio mirioni ĩyo na 500 citũ, na no korwo twĩnacio nĩ tũngĩheanĩte rũni na tũthondeke mbeca nacio. Ona waya matarĩhĩte mbeca cia process maheo kahinda mangĩaga gũkorwo marĩhĩte onao plot icio no citũ, matũcokerie mbeca icio tũmaprocessere lead ciao kana plot icio tũgĩcokie mwena wa SACCO, tondũ ndũngĩtuĩka warĩ supposed kũrĩha mirioni 1,200 2006 mĩaka 10 na ũrenda kũrĩha mbeca icio. Mbeca icio cituete na interest tũtũrĩte tũrĩhĩte. Koguo gwenda kũmũmenyithia atĩ mũgũnda ũcio tũkĩendia nĩ loss twamĩkire na no tũrathiĩ na mbere na kũmake loss. Koguo tũngĩaga kũmake decision rĩu tũgũkorwo tũgĩthiĩ na mbere na kwĩhinyĩrĩria. To conclude, the supervisory committee wishes to appreciate the role played by the honorable members, staff, the board and the confidence attributed to the growth indicators despite the challenges the business has undergone since 2020. We wish to appreciate the resilience and commitment members have continuously shown to the business and the staff for working tirelessly to make sure that the business runs seamlessly. We wish to thank the board and the management for the positive feedback and energy they have all put together to make this great organization a better place. We wish to confirm to the members that the SACCO is sound and the plans and the strategies that the board is putting in place is for the interest of the business and the members. For in the period under review, we concentrated on transactional and operational compliance. The supervisory will endeavor to carry out assignments which are more substantive in nature to assist all relevant shareholders. We remain committed to the job you elected us to do. Finally, no nyende kumwira kaundu tondu wira witu nwa korora maundu matigakiogome. Riria mwathurire bodi ino otorwa mukwiritwo ni secretary aingi matiari na experience ire yagiriire no ni mathiete na magathie makaruta wira kuringana na uhoti wao na no turagithie na mbere na guthoma na kuringana na uria muona na uria mukuona thiini wa mathabu ni marutite wira mwega muno na ni njui no meguthie na mbere na kuruta wira ucio. No mungirora tari twina bodi ina andu eri atumia eri nigetha tugie na gender balance. Bodi yagirwo ni gukorwo na atumia atatu na supervisory yagirwo ni gukorwo na mutumia umwe. Koguo ni ngumuria tondu DCIO ni conduct elections ya vacancies iria twina cio. Mwicirie muno horo wa gender, mwicirie muno horo wa andu aria mugutuhe nigetha turute wira nao tondu mungituhe andu mena tuceneni, mungituhe andu materutire tigukorwo tugiteithia SACCO ino. Koguo mwagea na kahinda kau ga guthura andu aria mwagirwo ni kurehe ni gwikira thiini wa ite icio tugukorwo igitangathwo ni DCIO. Wa mbere mwambe mwicirie horo wa gender balance. Wa keri particularly in supervisory no twende mutuhe mundu urihota kuona mathabu taru mau meguthomwo ni internal auditor akama understand akoria kiuria na no oke na amwire mwi members haha na haha hatithiete ura kwagiriire. Koguo mugicirie horo wa mundu mutuhe mundu ungihota gukorwo aki understand uhoro wa SACCO na understand mathina maria mwinamo nigetha ona muoka twatua guthie through maundu maria me mbere itu twakorwo gutwikio kimwe. On the other hand, bodi ino mwathurire, as I said, it took them time kuaffirm na consolidate mawira maria menamo. Ni marotitanaga from one person, from one subcommittee to another. Na ni joy, most of them ni magete na experience ile yake. Na ni joy tari mungirora mwena wa credit. Ni tuthiete tugicikeragia muno korora kiria credit department itu na performance itu. Na ni joy for sure no mwitikanie na nie ni tugite na improvement inene. Gwa kahinda gaka twina andu eri thiini wa credit committee na umwe wao ni anaritaya na niwe chairman. No ndimurie na gitio na ndikwenda gwika campaign ndirenda kumurie tondu no muhaka ndimwire mobility kana mungituika umuthi ni mukweheria mundu rucio mwikire mundu ungi no guo maundu mathiaga magicoka na thutha. Koguo mwakinya ni handu ha gutua itua no nyende musupport Bidan Nyoro nigetha a consolidate position hiyo ya credit nigetha haria tukinyite handu ha gucoka na thutha tuthio na mbere. Riu no riciria ya supervisory na kwenda kumuonia uria kutarie nigetha ona inyu mukihote kugukirwo ni uria kuhana. Koguo Namba banyinyi no mucokerie ngatho na ndimwire muthio na mbere na gutu support na tutkamuleti down. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Supervisory. Now, moving forward, we shall be asking for a proposer and seconder for the Supervisory. Proposer? Yes, person. Sorry? 1944. Thank you. Seconder? Yes. Sorry? 113209. That is adopted as a document. Now, thank you very much. Kweli supervisory wameongea na Kiswahili sanifu. Mr. Mbote, we have all noted, and it's a challenge. Kwetu, you always pose a challenge. Very nice Swahili. Na maybe nikiongezea, nitaelezea kwamba pia tumeweka vibango vya kuelekezea katika vyumba vya msala. So maybe tuzidi kutumia iwapo tuna haja. Thank you. Going forward, now we're going to invite the DCO. The DCO, sorry, the DCO, Susan, karibu. And akimaliza, afuatwe na Mr. Mbio, ndio tuweze kusikiza hesabu zetu. Karibu Susan.
Madam Chair Lady, committee members, supervisory committee, invited guests, staff and members, good afternoon. My name is Susan Njoroge, and it's not DCIO. Previously it was DCO, District Cooperative Officers, but nowadays we are the sub-county cooperative officers. For me, I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for gracing this occasion. Secondly, I would want to commend the board for good governance, and also the staff for ensuring that the SACCO is run in accordance to the rules and regulations. And not forgetting the supervisory committee for overseeing the SACCO activities and ensuring that it's run in accordance with the Cooperative Act, rules, regulations, and the bylaws. The financial year under review, there are some key highlights that the SACCO has gone through that will see the SACCO continuous growth. One of them is the strategic plan that was launched this year. Members, the strategic plan will help you. Members, the strategic plan will help you track the progress of the society, and it will also give you a sense of direction. The other highlight is the opening of the new branches. When a SACCO opens new branches, it will see growth in membership. We'll also offer visibility and exposure, which will also increase the profits of the SACCO positively. The other highlight that I've noted from the supervisory and also the chairlady's report is the amendment of the bylaws. Bylaws are the set rules that guide the board and the staff in decision making. When the bylaws are amended, it shows that the SACCO is moving towards the right direction and that the management is ready to lead the SACCO to greater heights. Members, with my few remarks, I would want to urge you to continue supporting the members of board and also the staff so that they can be able to execute the duties that you have given them. And also let us remember that it's not what you earn, it's what you save that matters. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. And indeed, it is sub-county cooperative officer, not the district cooperative officer. Now, this is a comprehensive document. I ask that, again, if you have any query, you can note it behind the book so that you can populate your questions, ndio tukimaliza, ndio tuwe na wakati wa majibu na maswali. Thank you.
Thank you, the MC of the day, the chairperson, the board of directors, chairperson, the supervisory, the Minister of Cooperative, the DCO, and the members of NRS. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, my name is David Bio Mohia. We first take this opportunity to thank you for giving us an opportunity to audit you. It's our first time to audit you, and I don't have much, just to say thank you. We were not in your AGM, but you best to us the opportunity to audit you. You're going to look to the accounts. I know accounts sometimes are very hard for you to understand, but I'm going to use a language that everybody will understand this account this afternoon in a very simple language that we are going to understand these accounts. Can we go to page number 26? Page number 26. So today, can we simplify these accounts? We take less than 15 minutes, we have the audited accounts. Page number 26, there down. And as we start to read these accounts, what are we reading? You know, sometimes it's good to ask ourselves that. Tunasoma nini hii adhuhuri ya leo? You know, audited accounts is about one, revenue. What is your revenue? Simple. What is your revenue for NRS SACCO? Are we growing? Are we not growing? Revenue yetu inakaaje? That will be the first question we are going to ask ourselves. The second question that's very simple will be, what was our expenses for that year? The one who categorize those accounts in 3-4 sections, then we are done. How much were our expenses? Did we make a profit or did we make a loss? That will be the second question we'll answer. Then after we made a profit or a loss, what are the declarations for the day? Then after that, what will be our assets? What is our asset? Are we growing? Are we not growing? So, and you must get something as a delegate. In these audited accounts, I challenge you, you must get something this afternoon. Because you are delegate and you cannot say just the audited account. We must learn something this afternoon. Because audit is about value addition. So can we go through the book? Very simple. The first question is, how much was our revenue in page number 26? How much was our revenue? And I will say that will make this account very simple. As your hand is in page number 26, can you also put your hand on page number 31? That one. How much was our revenue? This is how much was, so mkono yako iwe hivi kwa hapa, kwa page number 26 and page number 31. How much was our revenue? Our revenue normally comes from, if you go to page number that one, I will not go through that breakdown. I want to make it very simple. Our revenue comes from interest on loan. And in that year, in page number that one, in that year, our revenue from interest on loan was 69 million. If you get that 67 from both salon, 2 million from 4 salons, you can see. Then we normally have other interest income. That's from the Treasury Board, Cusco, Cusco Bank, CIC are here. We normally invest money with them. They are very good bankers, our CICs and the Cusco, our major lenders. 1.26 million, 1.2 million. That was another income. So the major income comes from interest on loan, which was 69 million. Last year it was 51 million. So you can see as the speaker, the chairperson, all those before us were saying the SACCO is growing because you can see our interest income is growing. The other category of income you normally have is there down, even in page number that one, other operating income. I don't have to read one by one, but all other operating interest fee, 90,000, 489, come down, account revival, 232, SACCO service fee, 535. If you go down, loan application, 1.25, security valuation 214. If you go all the way down to M-Pesa commission 248 and account maintenance fee 585. Under that category, this is the FOSA incomes where we normally operate our accounts. We were able to get 4,999,343. Last year it was 3 million. So you can see under that category again there is a growth. So that's where we get our revenue. Our revenue comes from interest on loans, interest from other financial institutions where we normally deposit our money, and other operating income. So if you're able to get our revenue this afternoon, because I told you the first question to answer is how much is our revenue? Then it is 69, you get 69, you add 1.2, you add 4.9, and if you add them, those ones, they will give you 76 million. 76 million. If you do the same, for last year, what was our revenue? You add 51, you add 1.4, you add 3 million. Last year, our revenue was 56 million. Are we growing? Are we not growing? You know, I want to involve you because you get bored because of these accounts. Are we growing? Because our revenue last year was 76. Last year it was 56 million. Our revenue now is 76. Are we growing? For those who do mathematics very easily, 76 minus 56 is how much? You know, nataka staki mwe board. How much is the growth? 19 million. Are we together? So this afternoon, if you go back to your home and somebody asks you how much was your revenue, tell them it was 76 million. And we have grown the SACCO inside of the revenue from 56 to 76 million. We have grown with 19 million. And as we are through with the revenue. Hata kama utasahau hiyo ingine yote, usisahau. Our revenue is 76 million. We'll through with you these accounts. So mark that one, 76 million. Can we now go to the expenses? I told you make this account simple. Page number 32. How much is our expenses? Because this page number 26 is a summary. How much is our expenses? So back you might have 76 million. Can we go to the expenses? Very simple. Financial, in ile tunabeba mikopo. Unajua tumebeba mikopo Cusco, tumebeba mikopo yoyote, 5.6 million. So that grew a bit because we added some more loans that year. So expenses of finance was 5.6 million. Personnel, hii ni ile ya wafanyikazi. Personnel, ile ya wafanyikazi wale tumewajiri, mumewaona hapa, is called personnel. They moved from 14 million to 17.1 million. Reason being, we are employing new employees, and again, we normally have a yearly increase in salaries. That's the cause of the increase. Governance in ile committee operational expenses, committee running expenses, sitting allowance, that gave us 3.1 million. Last year it was 2.6 million. As the auditor we checked, why did it increase? Because of the AGM, because of the education. You know, in the other year, the education were minimized because of the COVID. In 2021, education came back, the AGM came back, and then that we incurred more to a tune of 3.1 million. Marketing, we did more marketing in the year 2021, so that category we incurred 1.1 million. 1.1 million. Impairment of the assets, this is very simple, the depreciation, to Konazo, the capital expense, the assets we have, the depreciate, and then we have bad debts written off. These are the provision for loan, and the bad debt, these are the loans that you are not able to pay. And I think that's why the chair for supervisor was saying vote. This is an area that we need always the members to check, because this is an area that can make you not to get the dividends. Because if members are not repaying their loan properly, we must set aside some amount to make sure that we have a provision for loans that are not being paid. We set aside that provision to 6.3 million. Administration, page number 33. I'm doing a summary on all the expenses. If you go one by one, I will not go one by one, but the administration was 19.3 million. Last year it was 15 million, and the most that have increased is because we are getting more loan. That a loan guard, if you go to the elements that have the rent, I think you are catering for that. Rent is increasing from 1.3 to 1.7 million. Thank you, because you are trying to control that one because of building your head office. The other one is loan guard and the medical insurance. Again, that is growing, because when we have more loan, we expect that the insurance must grow. And then we have a few others like the interlinking and networking that are expected to grow. So at that category, we had 19 million. So if you go to page number 26, let's go back to page number 26. We may summarize that category. Then we are almost winding up the account. If you are waiting for many, mabomingi, I want to make it very simple. Then the other question will be, in that page, if you get the summation of all those expenses, that's a summary now, page number 26. Koapo? Tukoapo? The total expenses, if you go down there, they are giving you 52 million. Are we together? Are we together? So let's do a simple mathematics. I told you your income was how much? 76? If you raise 52 million, you are left with how much? Hey. 76 minus 52. 20? 22, 24, 23. Are we together? Did we make a profit or did we not make a profit? No, you know I want you to understand. If our revenue was 76 million, our expenses are 52 million. That's close to that. Let's use 53 million. If our revenue was 76 million, our expenses, including the depreciation, including wale hawakulipa malone, wengine tuka-write off 2 million, tukaweka depreciation ya 3 million, we paid everything. When we have even set all that aside, 76 minus 53, we are left with how much? 20? 23 or 24 they allow. Are we making a profit? Are we making a profit? So if it was your business, even if you take it was your business, you had 76, you minus 52. You are left with how much? 23 million. So our SACCO is growing because we're able to make. If you check last year, the same assets, avenue. Last year, our revenue was 56 million. Our expenses were 41 million. So if you get 53 minus 41, last year, our revenue, the same, we had a profit of allowed 14 million. Are we together? But this year, our profit is 23 million. Are we growing? We are growing revenue. And you can see the revenue, if you check to your account, the revenue is growing with 35%. The expenses were able to grow with 27%. So what revenue? The issue could have been if your revenue is growing if your expenses are growing at a lower rate, at a higher rate than your rate, but your revenue is growing with a higher rate than the expense. So we end up now having more surplus this year than last year. So if somebody asks you how much profit you made, say 23 million. And this afternoon, if you are going to talk about the distribution, because that will be the next clause, we are going to talk of 23 million that we have grown. Can we go now? Out of that 23 million, these are have to be the next agenda. And I need to explain this one. Is that in that page number 26, you have, there is something is called interest expense. That is what we call interest on deposit members. That category, And I want you to listen here me very carefully. That category, we intend to give you 6.9 million, but the rate will go down from 3.3% to 2%. And I will explain. I need you to listen here, because you may ask ourselves, why is it that we are making more profit and whatever we are giving to members has gone down at that category? I will explain as the auditor. Our proposal is that this afternoon we give you interest on deposits, the deposits you normally have at a rate of 2%. The dividends that we normally have, you have heard that there is a big campaign to increase the share capital. Our proposal this afternoon is that we give you at a rate of 5%. That will increase from last year. Last year they were given 3.5%. This year, at least that area will increase to 5%. That will translate to 1.5 million. That is in page number, if you go on to check that, that is page number 28. Page number 28 there, you realize that there is a proposed dividend there. No, I know about the account, but I want to make it very simple. Page number 28 is there. Proposed dividend, and then we propose a honoraria as it was last year of 800,000. We are not changing that one as it was last year. And bonuses, they were 800. We also propose this afternoon 800 to be given to the as honorary. Apart from that, we shall pay a tax of 536, because again we must pay the tax. If we do that, now listen to me. If we do that, what will happen? Because we had 23 million. If we raise the interest on deposit, we raise the dividend, we raise the honoraria, we are going to retain 12.9 million. We are going to retain 12.9 million. Last year, if you could have done the same, the retention was 3.9 million. So this year, we'll retain more with about 8 million. With about 8 million. So there is a big retention as compared to last year. The money the SACCO will retain. We come here as auditors to explain you why we are retaining more. This was in accordance with the SACCO regulations, because in the years that you have been there, last year was the last year, there is one ratio that was called institutional, and SACCO had given you the last, you had to meet that ratio. If you go to page number, can we run to page number 18? I explain that. And then I will expound more something here. Let's go to page number 18. There is a ratio, if you go to the key recommended ratios, these are ratios, and I think we have gone through them. These are the ratios that you are supposed to meet. And this was the reason why SACCO came into place, that there are ratios that you are supposed to meet. There is a core capital of total assets, supposed to be 10, you at 13, last year you at 13. Core capital of total deposit, you are required to have 8, you at 18.5, last year it was 17. Look at that other ratio, the last ratio, as I wind up the account. That other ratio, institutional capital over total assets, you are supposed to be 8%. Last year, it was 6.9%. That ratio is only met by two ways. One, retention, where SACCO makes the profit and does not declare whole of it. The other one is through the share capital increase. So because it was compulsory for us to meet this ratio, for the account to be approved by the regulator, then we had to work this account from downward. How much share capital have you brought? How much are we supposed to retain so that we can meet this ratio for the accounts to be approved? And as we start now, we have been able to meet all the ratios, except the liquidity ratio, which will be worked out this year, because that's a ratio of the money that you have. But as we start this year, we have met that ratio. And for us to meet that ratio, then we had to retain more. Are we together? Are we together? So this afternoon, then, as I summarize that statement, because I want to go to the balance sheet, then I finalize the account. As I summarize that, this account, what we call the income statement, is very simple. Our revenue, I can even see it overhead. Our revenue was 76 million. Our expenses were 53 million. We are left with 23 million. And this afternoon, we propose to give you 2% on interest on your rebates, which will translate to 6.9 million. Our dividend will be given at 5%, translating to 5. Our honoraria will be 800,000, and out of we will pay a tax of 563, and the SACCO will retain 12.9 million. Reason being, we have to meet our ratio, our institutional, our total deposit ratio. We have met that ratio, and then from there, what we project then is our dividend now will increase, having met all the ratios as per the requirement of the SASRA. Are we together? Hata ukisahau ingine usisahau hiyo. Si ndio? Kama delegate ukisahau hiyo, eda ukiiba. Si ndio? Market the SACCO with that. Our revenue is 76. Our expenses 53. We have a profit and we are giving you. And then we have to balance with that. What is our projection as I wind up that? Since we have met the ratio and we are increasing the share capital, we will not have to retain that more in future. Unless you refuse to pay your loans. Because if you refuse to pay your loans, what will happen? We'll set more on I challenged the board, and even when we have a board meeting, I told them, what we will not negotiate with the delegate, with the members, is about payment of the law. Kama ukibeba mkopo lazima ukikataa tutakupeleka CRB, tutakataki your guarantor, will not hide under the ground. No. If you have a loan, you must pay. Na ni auditor amesema. Hata wakiwaambia auditor amesema ukiwa na mkopo lazima ufanye nini? Because honestly, these are public money. And if it is a public money, if you borrow from this SACCO, this money does not belong to you. It is money that belongs to others. And this money belongs to the public. It will be prudent for you to pay. If you don't pay, we'll take you to the CRB. We'll take you even to the area, what we can manage for us to return back our money. Are we together? Good. Let's go to the last page now. We wind up the account. Page number 27. Hii tumaliza tu haraka. Page number 27, and let your hand be on page number 34. Weke mkono wako kwa page number 27 na 34. Usiseme auditor hakusema notes. Tuangalie haraka tumalize. Money in the bank, ile pesa mlikuwa nayo kwa bank, it was that $1 million. Na ukiangalia tuko na pesa kwa Cusco, tuko nayo kwa CIC, we have given all the accounts there. Equity, Cooperative Bank, they are totaling to that millions. Wale watu walikuwa na madeni yetu, we call them prepayment and deposits, 2.9 million, those are not major. Our major asset is the loans. We started with a loan of 279, we gave you loan 402 million. You repaid 357 million, and our loan portfolio now started at 393 million. So you can see the growth in loan. We are happy because of this. Because remember, as a SACCO, what is our main activity? It is saving and borrowing. Are we together? So mkikataa kuchukua mikopo, then you will not have the income. And that's why you can see our income is growing because you are able to get the loans. But then once you get the loan, make sure you repay the loans. However, we have an issue with these 13 million. Up to now, we have set aside 13.6 million. That money was supposed to be given to you in form of dividends and rebates. But then we cannot give you because there are people who are not repaying their loan. Especially there is a category of how many people? Of 23 people who have stayed with our loan for more than 1 year. Another category of 39 people who have stayed with a loan for more than 6 months. They have never repaid that loan. These are people that we want to deal with. Because you cannot stay with our money for a whole year. So we are forced to set aside whole of that 2.7 million. We cannot pay dividends, we set it aside. So we talk to these members wherever they are. I know you don't have their name, but if you know you're in this category of 23, this category of 39, please can you check your loan? Are we together? Because the more we continue letting people have these loans for 1 year without repaying, you are causing the SACCO, you are causing the members not to have their returns. So this is an issue that we have to look, and we have given you that category. Financial investments, they are down. We have not increased, sorry for that. We have not increased 3.3 million. Let's go on. Page number 35, did we increase assets? Yes. Last year, they are up. We increased assets 12 million through our share capital. We increased our assets with 12 million. Mostly this is the building, the computers 4.8 million, and because we are renovating some offices, that's 12 million. We don't have much to say on that. Page number, I want to give you on summary, page number 36. Page number 36, deposits. With deposits. We started with deposit of 287. Those are in zile deposit mnachukua mikopo nazo. Mkaleta mkatupea 62 million. Look at that. And that's how we test the SACCO. Look at how we test whether the SACCO is growing. Look at the issue of deposit. Last year, members who gave us the deposits were 35 million. What we refunded back was 26 million. Are we together? But this year then, that's how you gauge the SACCO, whether it is growing. This year, those members who gave us the deposit are 62 million. What we refunded is 21 million. Actually, we refunded less than compared to last year, and we got more. Are we growing? Our deposit's growing. And this is that tells us something. To those people who are outside, they see NRS, they have the confidence with SACCO. Are we together? Because there are no people cannot bring their money if they are not confident with the SACCO. If you see this growth in deposits, then there is much confidence in the SACCO. Look at our FOSA deposits. Let's look at our FOSA deposits. There, we had 344 as we closed the year. No, we had 5.2 million as we closed the year. Right now, we have, naona hapo pameandikwa FOSA fixed deposits. Umeona? There is short-term deposits. Hizo ni zile za bank, kule ndani ya bank, ina mnaenda kutoa. Imeongezeka kutoka 51 to 56 million, but you can see the fixed deposit 5.2 to 27 million. Tax, we will pay 563. Hatuna madeni. Hii deni dogo hatuna. We have only 1.5 million. 8.2 is what we are proposed to pay you. Page number 37, as I wind up. Namalizia sasa interest. Hiyo ni maruni ile tuko nayo. The loans that we are owing are 51 million. We owe them to Cusco. They are our main lenders. Thank you for that one. And we audited, the interest rates are okay. So that's okay. Share capital, people are able to increase 4 million. This is an area that we need to talk to you. This area you are not performing very, very well. And no wonder if we could have added share capital more. Actually, we did a calculation. If you're adding 5,000, if you say that in an AGM resolution to add 15,000 in 3 years, that was the AGM resolution? 15,000 in 3 years, eh? In how many years? 5 years. So you expect a member 3 years a year. So if you multiply with the number of members, they cannot be 4 million. Are we together? No wonder if you could have added your share capital very well, as you agreed in the AGM, whatever we have retained, we could not have retained. Because that one, I think I was not there in that AGM, but though the chair led the chair, when you read your report, it was very well thought. Because the thought was, since the SASRA is telling us that we must achieve the ratio, then through the share capital, if all members could have added their share capital, we could have attained the ratio. And that way we could not have retained. Are we together? So we challenge you on this. Can you work on this? Try to add your share capital. Kama ni 3,000, we egeza tu. Tukili zote tukiogeza, our ratio will grow. Reserves, we have 48. Board, there at page number 24 is a wind up. We check the board rooms, related party disclosure. Because this is a very major item to the SACCO. What we are checking is this. These board members, if you have come here and you are a board member, we must audit your loan specific. Reason being, we want to see whether you have undue influence. Ulipewa mkopo na huli? As a board member, you must pay your loan. It must be up to date. Are we together? So we audit what we call related party disclosure, because the staffs and the board members are related to this SACCO by the fact that when the loan are approved, they sit in those board meetings. So we check to see that all loans that belong to the board of directors are repaid. In your case, there is no loans that belong to the board of directors that is not being repaid. With that, then we go to the summary of our asset, which is in page number. Then I give you the opinion. Then we close the accounts. Page number 27. Oh, hiyo yote tumesoma in one word. Unajua hata unaweza sahau hiyo yote. Useme usahau pesa ilikuwa bank ilikuwa kapa. Page number 27 as I wind up the accounts, there is what we call the total assets. Total assets is what we have read. Last year it was 449. This year it is 554. Are we growing? Because we have grown more than 100 million. Are we together? Because if last year it was 449, now it is 554, it is to say we have grown with a tentative 104, 105 million. If you check our growth rate, if you check 100 over 400, that rate is how much those are able to do. 100 over 500 is around 25%. Are we together? Are we together? So our total asset now is 554 million. So I want to change your term this afternoon. Mtu aenda akikuuliza, how much is worth your SACCO? Usimwambie it is 500. Mwambie it is more than half a billion. You know the marketing strategy. Mtu akienda na huko umwambie, how much is your SACCO? It's more than half a billion. Mtu akisikia iko more than a billion, half a billion, then you are now targeting a billion. Are we together? So hata mtu akikuuliza accounts zilikuwa namna gani, mwambie revenue ilikuwa 76 million na tumepewa hii na our asset is more than half a. Hata ataona hata wewe ulikuwa kwa mkutano ya AGM. Tuko pamoja? So that's our asset. Our total assets are more than half a billion. And with that, can I give you the opinion, which is in page, I will not read all of it, which is in page number 21. Hii ingine sitasoma. Hii ingine mingi. All these one in page number 18, all this, let's go to page number 22. Page number 22, 23 there. Let me just read one sentence because of time. Page number 23. We have obtained our information explanation to the best of our knowledge to believe and believe we consider necessary for the purpose of this audit. We have no evidence of irregularities or illegal acts that have been committed by directors, employees, and the SACCO. We have no grounds to believe that the SACCO is insolvent and that there is ethical risk that may become insolvent. Vile tunasema hii kimombo mingi tunasema sisi hatujaona kitu imeenda vibaya, imeenda kombo. Because again, the issues that we wanted to advise, the normal advice, we advise you about through the management letter. Lakini mambo ya wizi nini ama hatuoni SACCO haitaendelea. Kuna SACCO nyingi saa hizi tumepata haziendelei, kuna shida inazifanya zisiendelee. But as the auditors, we check all this, and in our opinion, we feel that what we can say in our opinion is that proper books of accounts has been kept, except where we have touched the issue of repayment of loans, the issue of institutional capital. We have met those issues, the issue that we advised in our board, in our management letter, for the purpose of the better management of the SACCO. In our opinion, we want to give you a clean bill of health this afternoon that proper books of accounts have been kept. And the person who was responsible for that audit is CPA David Bill. That's my practicing number, and I'm the one who is standing before you this afternoon presenting those accounts. As I wind up this afternoon, in case you have any query that you have after the account are seconded, when that issue for queries come, I'll be here. Kindly ask me, usiende ukiuliza ati auditor alisema nini. Hapana, auditor ako hapa, muulize swali, si ndio? And then as I wind up in page number 19, let's go to page, we the auditors this afternoon, being our first year, as the auditors being our first year to audit you, we have expressed, the last paragraph, we have expressed you the willingness to continue serving you for another one term. We audit the SACCO for a term of 3 years, and this being our first year to audit you, when that agenda comes, we have expressed our willingness to continue serving you for another office. God bless you this afternoon. We are so grateful to serve you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbio Muhia. Indeed, you have brought it out such that we have all understood. And what we take home is that 76, 0. He has told us something. Tuende tukikumbuka nini? Yes? Passing? Thank you very much. That is our take home. Good. Now, as I invite Mr. Kariuki, our treasurer, to take us through the matters rising. As you come, I would want us to adopt these documents quickly on the proposer and seconder. Please, quickly, as Mr. Kariuki come. Yes? 15? 15,581. Nancy. Seconded by? Let's get us. Yes. 013, yes. Tupigie 013 makofi pia. Mmesikia hiyo number? Note that number. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our MC. And we have gotten a proposer and a seconder, and Mr. Bill, who is our first-time auditor, and who audited our books in the financial year 2021, is Zara. Tumesikia vile amereport vizuri. Even he has gone an extent to show the related parties. The related parties are the members of staff and the board members. Ndio, kulingana vile sheria ziko. And because he's Zara and so eloquent, we need to go to matters arising, and I'll take you through the matters arising as per the financials. Financial starts from page 26. Let us all go to page 26. This is what we call statement of comprehensive income. Na metobia maneno mambo 76 and 20 and half a billion. Ndio. Hatujaipata auditor ametueleza hivyo. Si anakujaga anasoma, people are not able to get the information. Ndio. Lakini siku ya leo ametueleza the way the SACCO is, and we did a strategic plan, and we hope we are reaching 1 billion. Our target as a board, come the next 5 years, we want to be at 1. We want to be near Sima SACCO. Okay, page 26. Is there a member with a query on page 26? Page 27. This is the statement of financial position. Inatuonyesha utajiri. These are the assets. Na mjue assets, we also include the loans. So the more we give out loans, the more our assets grow. Na members wa kilipa loan, we maintain our liquidity, our institutional capital. Sindio? Wakikosa kulipa, ina shrink down. Sindio? Okay, the other one is on page 28. Page 28, this is a statement of changes in equity. The movement of, it's called changes in equity. After you get the revenue, it is able to explain how much are you supposed to, how much you have retained. Sindio? Then we go to page 29. This is a statement of cash flow. Cash flow from operative activities. Inatuonyesha whether there is increase and decrease in profit, increase and decrease in operating liabilities, all the way to cash and cash equivalent as at 31st December 2021. The next page explains about our fundamental accounting policies and the notes. We call them notes. Page 29 explains about the income, other income, interest expense, other operating income. Page 32. Any member with a query on page 32 or would like to get an explanation in respect to page 32? Hapa ni financial expense, personnel expenses, the governance expenses, the marketing expenses, and the impairment, that is depreciation. Page 33. In page 33, there's a containment of administration expenses. Kevin, can we get somebody in charge there out at the tent? There was a member who was raised his hand. Yes. At the tent. Next time tutakuwa kwa uwanja kubwa. such that we are all in one meeting. At the tent, any question? Kevin? There's a mic there. There is a mic. And you are here from this end. We can be able to hear from this end. Yeah, give him the mic. Yes, you can contribute.
My name is, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My name is Kibe, member number 1590. I would like to an explanation on, rather concerning the bad rates written off, bearing in mind that last year we didn't have any provision for bad rates written off, but currently I have a feeling that bad debt written off is a bit too high, being at 2.1 million. Thank you.
It's a good question. Let us get another question. Mr. B, you have noted that in relation to the lighting off of the bad debts of the 2.1. Yes, Mr. Pasin.
Kwa majina anaitwa Mark Gitomwe.
Pasin, you can kuja hapa mbele.
Unasikia? Kariuki, you can hear me?
Yes, Mark, I can hear you.
Yeah, majina ni Mark Gitomwe, member 1659, eh?
Yes, proceed.
Ningetaka tuende kwa page number 27.
Page 27.
Pale kwa liabilities. We compare this year and last year. There's a huge difference, eh? Total.
Page?
Page 27.
Page 27, eh?
Total liabilities.
Oh, total liabilities, eh?
Yeah. And when I'm still there, because I'm not stand up for this account again because it's done very well, there's what we call MDF, Member Development Funds. I can't see it and raise it in the office.
Okay, good question. Pasin, you can ask your question.
My name is Pasin, member 9044. It's not exactly the question, but what I'm talking about is the security, which is supposed to be even funded more than the figure that you have given us. Because you can see when we are in the bank, there are these elderly people.
Page?
It is page 33.
Yes.
You can see these elderly people when they come in the bank. And we have only one security officer at the door. So, after you leave the door, come to the counter, and that elderly person needs assistance from officer. Askari kwa mlango mmoja, na hapa kwa counter kumekuja mtu ambaye ni old anataka assistance. Na wale wasichana tuko nao wako ndani ya counter. So this elderly person wanted to be assisted. And we have that officer there at the door. When she leaves the door, she comes to the counter, then she's going to leave the door open without even somebody looking at it. So the best thing, my request is to add some more. You better add some more money to this security section, so that we may have two staffs, security officer from the door and the one who can assist people who are coming to the counter who are elderly. Thank you.
Okay, point noted. And we are noting all those questions. We are getting questions, then we are going to answer them once and for all. And we were on page 33, page 34, is cash and cash equivalent, prepayment and sundry receivables, loans to members. That is where the rate of is. Then the other one is the PPE, the property, plant and equipment, page 35. Any question? You are also checking near the yes. Mr. Kamau?
Yes, just Amyamo. Just something that I've noted about the motor vehicle expenses. Relatively noting that we have a new car.
Yeah, let us get the member number. We are taking records.
Member number 716.
Member number 716.
And just an observation about the expenses of the motor vehicle. Page number 33. Page number 33. About motor vehicle running expenses. Motor vehicle running expenses. Just an observation. Member number 716, Joseph Kamau.
Okay. Yes. You have taken your query. Page number 18. This is where we have now item number 17, members' deposit, taxation, and payable and accruals. Page number 37, we have the interest-bearing liabilities, the share capital, the reserves, and the related party transactions. And the last one is the notes to the financial statement. Number 28, that is taxation, whereby it is well elaborated. Okay, the first question is the question of from a member who was asking about the issue of the loan written off. I think Mr. Biu can explain.
The question of bad debt, that's a very good question from the member. Let me explain what is a bad debt. Bad debts are what we are saying is that bad debts, what is a bad debt? Bad debts are those loans that the SACCO have reached a point that they cannot be recovered. And you realize that why we are having the provision is for those loans that at any one time, there could be, our SACCO, if you go with today's AGM, is 29 years old. Are we together? So, meaning, from where we started that SACCO, before, we used to be regulated by the Ministry of Cooperative. There were no bad debts. And that provision that we are keeping aside, why we are keeping this provision are for those loans in one way or another, because of the fraud, because of any other issue, those members, we cannot be able to recover that money. So those are the loans that have been written off. And these loans, they are for many, many, many years. We are talking of 20 years, and I'll give you a good instance that we came across. Sometimes, no members are a bit cunning for one reason or the other, because we are dealing with human beings, that you get a loan, you get a loan, you get a loan, but you want to defraud the SACCO. So you use a guarantor, so you guarantee yourself. Are we together? Then all of you refuse to pay the loan. So even if we recover from you, because you have refused, it's good now. Currently, a good due diligence is being done. But in such a case arises, that's why we are keeping this provision of 13 million. And why we are keeping this provision of that 13 million is, in case that happens, the current profit will not be affected. Those bad debts will come from that provision. But as the auditors, we normally tell the management, the credit committee must be very careful, because we are not in the business of writing off the loans. But again, since why these are coming is because we have been having these accounts for many years. And there is a loans that we can see, even if we try, even we don't even know the owner, maybe out of those 29, others passed away, we are not being able to be paid by the insurance because one way or the other, then we have to keep writing off the loan. But what I assure you, they will not affect the current profit, they only affect the provision for that year. Are we together? However, it's an issue as the auditors we normally discourage, because we cannot be keeping writing off the loans. We must recover those loans from wherever they are. I think I've answered that question. That's why we brought that issue. We are writing some of the loans that have been many, many years, 20 years down the line, so that we can have a clean health loan book. ask whether they're simple as that. I've answered that.
The next question will be answered by our able CEO in respect to the issue raised by Mr. Kamau in respect to the motor vehicle running expense, and the issue raised by member number 1659, Mark Muigu, in relation to the issue of members' development fund.
Members, let's go to the page number 33. Page number 33, there is a motor vehicle running expense of 329,000. In comparison to the year 2020, we had an expenditure of the same voted going for 162,410. The effect of this account, the growth is attributed by one thing. In 2020, there was lockdown, so there was no movement as such in terms of the motor vehicle. And again, these expenses are incurred in fueling, servicing of the vehicle, and also partly payment of insurance and so. So I think we are very fair because in a month at least it's being utilized at 27,000 if you do 329 divided by 12. So I think Bwana Kamau, I am clear on that. The next question is the next from Mark Muigo, the issue of MDF. In the members' liability, that is in the page number 27, he is asking why MDF is not in that page, whereby we have liabilities for the SACCO. The reason is because way back, the AGM and resolved, we contribute once the purchase of interlinking equipment and ICT equipment, and we were agreed on a fund to be contributed. But because this fund was not paid upfront, the SACCO from the retaining earnings incurred the cost of doing the interlinking, doing the networking, and so. So this amount has been received from members over time. But it cannot be declared as a member liability because you open a GL or you open an account whereby you've incurred maybe 5 million, and this 5 million is to be gotten from members. So once you fully recover the amount, you write off against the expenses that you've been given. And that's why the money is to be moved in the retained earnings. I hope also that is explained.
Okay. The other part, because the questions has been answered, is the next agenda to declare dividends from the audited report, rebates and honoraria. Let us go to page 18. We want to be very thorough, and categorical page number 18, item number 20. The proposed interest on members' deposit is 6,031,713. Proposed honoraria and staff bonus is 800,000, and proposed dividend on share capital it is 1,582,583. For that money to be paid, we require a proposer and a seconder at today's AGM. We get a proposer and a seconder. We have item number 6, declare dividend on honorary staff honors for the year ended 31st December 2021. Yes. Give her the mic. Member number?
Member number 1495. Nsorata Kihara.
Kevin? We are not able to hear? 1485. Consolata Kihara, 1485. Yes. Seconda? Yes. Hapa mbele. Yes, give him the mic.
231.
231.
Peter Kinodia.
Peter Kinodia. Peter Kinodia. Okay. The next agenda is the agenda for the appointment of the auditor for the financial year, that is, for the current financial year. And you have heard, as the AGM, what the current auditor, he has expressed interest. Bonabiu, you want to discuss you? Yes. You see, we have to discuss in his absence. Yes. That's the procedure? Yes. Okay. During the year, we had received applications from 5 firms, and I will read them. The list of external auditors, they are on page 39. Let us all go to page 39. The first application is from Mr. Biu Muhia and Associate. The second application is from Nelson and Francis LLP. And you have the third one from JM and Associates. The fourth one is Mazars. All these firms have expressed their interest to audit the financial books of NRS SACCO. And we require the AGM to give us the direction forward based on what the auditor has really presented. And I would like to remind you that this is the year we have gotten an Adara auditor, and we have perused all the documentation for the applicants, and we have also checked the fees and charges, and all the other auditors, and number 2, number 3, and 4 are charging us more than 500,000. The current auditor is charging us 260,000. And the current auditor, okay, we have those applications. We have those applications that were opened before the books were being printed. Yes, we have analyzed all of them. The current auditor is conversant with our core system, that is Business 360 Navision Dynamics. He's there. Auka kuga recorded madafu niramenya system ino torwena SACCO zinyige SACCO tronie SACCO tai kuminenya nyakroke audit using the same system. He makes our work easier at the office. Neko mukoroke menya aikone na kuna members deposit. Agileo system how nako na password leko tawikatia kugira mutabo ini nako na nikerera wikatia. He knows what is expected to do. Okay, auditor number 2 and number 3 and number 4, despite them quoting an high amount, they audit firms like companies like Smith and Beecham, all those, and you may find that majority of them, like number 2, had an application because they have to attach in their CV on in their letter, express their interest. Even they have clients that are able to pay them 2.1 million. And NRS, we are not of that. If we pay an auditor more than $500,000, we may end up incurring maybe a lot of expense. If you look at the regulation in terms of auditing in respect to financial books of the SACCO, auditor have got at least 3 years. Mwaka wake watatu ukifika, hata pata unless he step aside for like 2 years, then he comes and apply again, because we want at least to get reporting status from different auditors. So we shall put this question to the members at today's AGM in respect to the appointment of the auditor, because in our office we have done analysis, and that is why we have to provide the list of auditors in page number 39. We need members to propose any number 1, number 2, and number 3. That is why I have requested our current auditor to step out. Yes, there is okay. There's a question from a member who want to participate from the tent.
Thank you, Mr. Kariuki. It's not about...
member number, Mr. Githinji.
11450.
450. Yeah, Mr. Girinji from Wangige. Yeah.
11450.
Yeah. 11450.
From your analysis that you've given us, I believe we are not left with a lot of choice, but maybe I'll propose we keep our current auditor having done his audit for only 1 year. Because of consistency, it is very important to uphold, just like the way you would not remove the chairman of the board today and another year and another year. We need some consistency so that as we measure and as we measure our growth within the 3 years, we can be able to be in a position to know these people, and from his analysis, he is able to let us know where we are growing and where we are not growing. So I would propose we retain the one that is already there for consistent purposes. Thank you.
Okay. So you have proposed? It's approved, okay. Yes. We need a seconder or any other member with a contrary opinion. Yes, Mr. Kimoto?
I'm going to second that, Bio and Mohia, because they are consistent. That man is saying outside there.
Okay. Mr. Kimoto, member number 634. Yes. 634. Mr. Kimoto? Yes. Any other member in respect to the issue of the auditor? Yes, Mr. Kimoto?
Yes, my number is 634. Bernard Kimoto.
Bernard Kimoto, member number 634. You have gotten a proposal and a seconder to Mr. Biumu here and associate. Any other member with a contrary opinion in respect to number 2, number 3, and number 4? Check from the tent. If none, Mr. Biumu here and associate carries the day. Let us go to the other agenda. The other agenda is the agenda for the borrowing power. Our borrowing power, as per the last TGM, was 100. We were awarded 150 million. The reason why the board requested for the retention of 150 million is because we are anticipating growth in the current financial year as we compare with our strategic plan that was launched early in January. And for us to grow, we don't want any member to come and request for a loan and we get a delay. And of late, in fact, I will put that question on the floor. I know there is no member who has ever borrowed a loan and that is delay. There is always, once your documentation is in order with the able credit committee, we are able to disburse that loan. And with that, because we want success of NRS, and we want to grow our assets to near $1 billion. And we would like as a board to request for the retention of the borrowing power to remain 150 million. And with that, we require maybe member to participate in regard to that. In regard to the borrowing power to remain as 150 million, we need to get a proposer and a seconder or any other member with a contrary opinion in respect to 150 million. Yes, Mr. Arano, you are proposing? Give him the mic. Indicate your name and member number.
My name is James Warano.
James Warano.
Member number
1115.
Yes, and I propose that the borrowing power remains the same.
Yeah, he's proposing the borrowing power to remain 150 million. We need to get a seconder for that proposal. Okay.
Jina langu ni Johnson Juki Kagembe.
Johnson Kagembe, member number? Member number 3613. Okay. Okay, the next agenda is the agenda for the budget. Agenda for the budget. You were given a copy of the budget. Mr. CEO. This is the budget. Kevin, can we get the members with no budgets? Can we get the copies? Kaidre, mpatie hii. Can we get the copies of the budget? Let each and every member get a copy of the budget. And we can proceed. Okay, this is the amended copy, the proposed NRS budget for the financial year 2022. We are here to present the budget for the financial year 2023. The reason why we want to get the amendment for the budget is simply because of what we have really encountered in respect to the relocation of Keno branch. And we are also anticipating that during the year, we shall also have an expansion of our fifth branch at Dagoretti. And with that respect, we must ensure that any expense that is being utilized has been proposed and seconded at this annual general meeting. A point of clarification, this budget was passed in our last AGM, but there was some amendment. That's why we have to bring what we call a supplementary budget. All the other vote heads remain the same, but we have on the second page, in terms of administration expenses, we have what we call branch expansion. Let us all go to page, the next page, almost page 2. You have seen where there is branch expansion. Have you seen? We have budgeted Kenya shillings 9 million for the branch expansion. And out of the 9 million, we are anticipating that we may open a branch in Dagoretti. And likewise, the relocation of Keno branch was not budgeted, but it is also a requirement as per the regulator that once we want to move a branch from one position to the other, we have to request to the regulator. The regulator will come and inspect, and after we are able to do the branch, they will also give us the go-ahead to be able to occupy the building after doing that audit, whether all the measures has been put in place. If I explain about the issue of the 9 million, we are anticipating that the Keno relocation will cost us 4 million, and because we have to ensure that every measure has been put in place, and the new branch at Dagoretti market, we have budgeted Kenya shillings 5 million. And we have also budgeted maybe any other repair that may arise because immediately we exit from the building from Keno. And we also must be able to ensure that the building is being left the way it was found as per the tenancy agreement and lease. Then the other issue is on the issue of the capital expenditure. The ICT, we have budgeted 1,830,000. The furniture, 200,000. The head office, we have budgeted Kenya shillings 15 million. And the product development, we have budgeted 1 million. We are anticipating to get total interest income of 98,500,000. And I compare this with what the auditor has highlighted and about the issue of 76 million. We want to grow up to have an income of 98 million. And we are also anticipating that after we are able to get income and expenses, we are anticipating to get an operating surplus of 23 million. That is on the last page, 23,024,000. And still on the same, we are also anticipating to get a review of the bylaw. We are going through the zonal meeting on the proposals, that is 1.5. Okay, the 23 million we are anticipating to get, it has been affected by expansion of the branch and still the relocation of Keno, whereby it is an amount we shall spend during this financial year, and we never anticipated for that. We never had a provision for that. And that is why we are bringing it to this AGM for us to be able to get an approval, such that when we come in the next year's AGM, God willing, and we do not expect any question that you utilized and 9 million, and the surplus has gone down. So, as we utilize almost like 9 million, this is a budgetary allocation, which may not be an actual figure in respect to that. And that is why we have to bring it to today's AGM for us to be able for that to be endorsed by the members present at today's AGM. The other figures are the way they were at the one that was presented. The budget for next year shall be presented to members at our special general meeting, which probably will be held in the month of November. And the reason why we propose to hold it, we are able to see the variances. You may not get a good projection at the beginning of the year, because our quarter of the year will end on 31st. We want to at least to see the way our income and revenue will be, and maybe on the second quarter. So it was so premature to prepare the realistic budget.
100%.
We can get a seconder. Also check from the tent. Is a member raising hand at the tent?
Samuel Kibiro Mushene.
Samuel Kibiro.
2680.
Member number?
2680.
2680. Because it has been proposed and seconded, we need to go, if there is any query on page 1, any query on page 1, page 1, page 2, page number 2, yes, there is a query from the tent. Member number and name, Hydre.
My name, majina yangu ni Maketa Mwigu. Kwa majina ni Maketa Mwigu. Hii expansion ya 9 million, Administration expenses, unasikia?
Yes, we're able to hear you.
Have you tendered for this?
Come again, Mr. Mark?
Hii expansion, na nafikiri tunaangalia zile mmeka mpya mpya, hiyo ingine mlikuwa mmepitisha, si ndio? Unanisikia?
We are not able to hear you.
Hello?
Mwambia kuja hapa, mwambia kuja hapa.
Habari zenyu. Swali langu ni kwa hii 9 million Mr. Kariuki,
Page number?
Page number 2.
Page number 2.
Administration
Yes.
expenses. Ile haikuwa kwa mwaka uliopita na haikuwa kwa mwaka mwingine. Branch expansion.
Yes.
Nauliza swali, ni tena mmefanya ama it's just a proposed budget? Ukiangalia pale kwa administration, kuna ile expansion of the branch. There is a total of 9 million there. Na ukaangalia
Weka mic karibu, weka mic karibu.
Nasema mkiangalia pale kwa expansion of the branch,
Yes.
Kuna zile 9 million ulikuwa na explain juu yake. Nauliza ni tender imefanyika ama ni just a proposal?
It's a proposal.
It's a proposal.
Yes.
Asante.
It is part of the resolutions that shall be solved by the members today. Any other question? Yes, okay. Mr. Kangebe?
Stephen Kangebe.
Stephen Kangebe.
Number 013. Just on that question, branch expansion. Ningeuliza tafadhali, kuna nyumba moja ilijengwa kule Wagigi, na vile ilijengwa haikutumia hizo pesa zote zile zilitumika. Hii inaweza ingia kwa hiyo mtego. Nauliza swali mzuri, mnanielewa? Huyo mtego iliingia, nyumba ikajengwa na haikujengwa sawa sawa.
Okay, point.
Tafadhali, mnaweza ingia tena kwa hiyo mtego? Nauliza hiyo swali. Pengine Mungu akituweka, nikiwepo wakati mwingine nitauliza hiyo swali.
Okay. Mr. Kangele is really asking a very good question in respect to our building in Wangige. And let me explain that the 9 million we are talking about, we had a Kinol relocation because we have to present to our regulator how much are you how much are you anticipating to spend. You give a budget, they approve, then we are being allowed and also get a resolution from the members. The relocation of Kino, hatukegoja mpaka AGM, maybe to have an AGM, because time is really not arriving us. And also, we have done almost a year to look for a building in Kino. And out of the many buildings that we got, some were old. Majority of the landlords there and landlords were not willing to maybe to rent it to the bank. But we got an upcoming building as we go to the road that is going to the chief's camp there, chief's office. And that is where we are intending to locate our building. But our CEO is able to explain much in addition to the issue of the 9 million.
Afternoon, members. The 9 million, the biggest expenditure is not actually the new branch. The biggest expenditure is on the location of Kino. Simply because most of the things you have to purchase are fresh. And what is carrying amount of money is the safes. The bankers class 2 safes for the branch. It's a requirement immediated by the regulator before the approval is done. But in a way we are going to Dagoretti. The landlord is on construction. He has agreed to do the construction with our specifications, which cuts our expenditure downwards. Because if you look at bringing up a new branch entirely to totality, you have to have a budget for the construction and also have a budget for the operations. By operations, I mean, once you build the structure, you have to also have money for the operating of that branch. So I'm confident, and from the assessment of what you've done, also what we are given by the regulators on the conditions of meeting on opening a new branch, this is the least budget that you could have used. If you go below that, then you don't have a branch. Because some of the measures you have put are conditions on what to specification, because like safes, you know there are document safe and there's a bank safe. Those are two different things. A bank safe is way expensive than a normal safe. Normal safe you can get it maybe with around even 50,000. A banker safe can go even to a tune of 701. And so these are measures that have to be audited by the regulator, see if they are meeting the threshold of us opening and depositing, taking SACCO branch that is secure and is able to operate in a safe environment. And also, we don't also put Mugambi here to telling him that maybe to live at Ombie, you've not met the conditions that are supposed to be given to one serving a branch. So I think what we're having is a budget, and a budget is a guideline. And this board cannot start constructing without a budget that is in place. And also the regulator, another thing that they are looking at, are the members aware you are spending this amount? And that's why it is imperative for the board to have brought this expenditure before even incurring to you, so that we walk the journey together as a SACCO. I hope I'm clear in this. Our founding member, by the way, is our founding member.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mainge. We are on queries that may result from the budget. Second page. The last page. Any query from the last page? Yes, there is a mic, Kevin. Mr. Kiliji there.
We appreciate the explanation of the CEO concerning the amount to be spent on the expansion of the branch. Probably my greatest concern among, and I'm speaking, I believe, on behalf of so many other shareholders around here, is that every time you are doing an investment, you've got to have done a lot of visibility study to understand, is it going to be bringing in returns? What we actually mandate the board and the administration is that we want to know and we want to be assured that wherever we spend this kind of money, 9 million shillings, it is giving us the value for our money. And why I'm saying so is because you must have sat down and seen or done a lot of feasibility study to understand why it is important to establish a branch in Dagoretti and not probably Tigoni. So what I'm saying is that we need to be assured that as you set out the new branch, even as you relocate Kino branch, give us the assurance that there will be adequate marketing in those places, whereas you don't just wait to have the members coming in. We want in the next AGM to be reported that Dagoretti branch is performing, has got more deposit than an existing branch, Kikuyu or Wangige. So that's the only thing I would want us to, you give us an assurance on that we'll get value for our money. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana. On the same question about the feasibility study, I want to break it down in a way that everyone is able to understand. When you are sorting for an approval from the regulator about constructing a new branch, there are three things that they are looking at. The first thing is security of the members' fund, which is their motto as the regulator, SASRA. The second thing, have you done a feasibility study? So we have to have done the feasibility study. And again, the third question would be, how much time will you take to break even? Because once you incur 9 million, they want to know how long will it take for me to recover the 9 million that I've spent on this branch. So all those things are present before the approval is done. Now, in Kikuyu is the biggest branch in terms of membership, in terms of growth, and in terms of profit. But remember, Kikuyu is not our premises that we are in. It's a rented premises. Similarly, for members. But still remains, even with paying the rent income of 150,000, it still remains profitable. It's because it draws our membership from all over, going down to Lungai, Dagoretti, and also Karen and so. We have when you are getting to Dagoretti, we are not getting to a new market, as per se. We are bringing the services near to the members of Dagoretti that we have almost 150 members. So what we are looking at is these members, because after they're doing the feasibility study of Dagoretti, what we are realizing is there is potential, because this is not a sleeping market, because you can understand what I mean by a sleeping market, whereby people are only living in the market. During the day, they also are working. This is a going market in terms of business. The second thing, the only bank or financial institution in Dagoretti for us, after doing the feasibility study, is Equity. And Equity, what is there, they have a small branch and ATM. So you're asking, we, the membership of the SACCO, are falling under the category of SMEs, and also you have also the small business people. And in this market, we have a mix of the two. And since we have even SMEs coming from that end, we already have funding members for that branch who will support us even as we come in doing the marketing. The other thing, if you look at the budget, we've increased the budget for marketing because we want this budget to be able to fit us in terms of what? In terms of bringing the outreaching the services that you're offering at the SACCO to you, members of the markets that we are looking to open the branches soon. So, Bwana Gidenji, be assured that we have noted the feasibility and we've done due diligence in having the branch there, and it must break even within the year.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Any other query?
Kama unasikia.
Member number and you state your name.
My name Mark Mwego. Member number 1659. Member number 1569.
1659.
Yeah, tuko ile page ya mwisho Mr. Kariuki.
Yes.
Mkiangalia pale kwa total expenditures. You're proposing this year to spend about 90,476,000. Correct?
The last page, eh?
Yeah, the last page, the final. Umepata hapo members. Ukiangalia 2021, the actual was 51,034,984. Ukiangalia pale chini, sasa ile tutumia milioni 51.3494. Tulipata faida ya 22,278,024. Nataka unaangalia peji ya juu ya chini. Hapo juu hapo chini.
Yes, you are together. You are together.
Na naambia members, you are proposing 97,476,000. Ukiangalia hiyo ratio ya profit is very minimal. Kwa sababu expenditure ukisubtract surplus ya mwaka huu na mwaka uliopita ni kama milioni 1. Lakini ukienda mambo ya expenditures, there's a difference of 40 million or something. That's why my query is.
Yes. Okay. Now, I think it's a good question and a good observation in respect to the income that you are intended to get and the expenses in terms of expenditure we are intending to incur. And that's why I explained in the last page, there is a voted for the capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is not an expense. They are usually capitalized. I will have answered you. Capital expenditure is not an expense. I'll give an example. Like if you buy a furniture, it will not be an expense. It will increase the assets of the SACCO. If you build a head office, our assets in terms of PPE will not be the way it is 96 million. It may tend to go high. Meaning, if you utilize anything as capital expenditure, that is CapEx, you cannot expense it. It's like buying a car for your own use. It's not really an expense, but it is making your mobility issues be efficient. Are you getting? I hope I've answered you, Mark. Any other question? Yes, Mr. Waitimo. Then Mr. Waitimo get a mic. We get the member number.
Okay, my member number is 113209. Well, I want to comment on Laureti, and I think Laureti is a very good place. One is where there is a lot of business, and if it is properly exploited, money from there. But you need to do a lot of marketing. Well, let's come to building head office. I can see that you need to use about 15 million. But there is another expense that is plots development. Can you please tell us exactly what is the difference between that one and the head office?
Okay. Vice Chair, the question is on the issue of the plot development. Okay, now, in terms of capital expenditure, page number 3.
Members on capital expenditure, the year 2021, we had budgeted 74 million as a budget for the expenditure, but you only utilized 51 million. So what we're having as the budget is a provision. It's not supposed to be the actual. So on this plot development, we have plot 1510, which is a SACCO property. And during our sonos, we are trying to show you how these plots are being utilized. So one of the plots is where we had, it was leased and it was built a bar, Cool Breeze. The other one is the one that is being operating a car wash. The lease income that we're getting from these plots is substantially low, very low, as compared to the value of that land. The bond and thought of how they can add value of that land, maybe by putting a container and opening small shops, which can fetch more money for you as the members, instead of those plots staying idle the way they are. Also, when you're having such trainings, that plot is, they are 200 by 100. So one plot which is 100 by 100 is where an office will be constructed. The other 100 by 100 is where you are saying you can even have do a landscaping and have that plot being ironed for event and so. At least in that point, we won't be getting 15,000 out of that plot. But for us to realize that amount, we have to have at least set a budget that you can develop that plot, maybe do iron grinder to do the landscaping, and maybe plant grass and do the fence on that plot because it's not fenced. It's not fenced. So I believe I've made the question.
Any other query in respect to the budget? Yes. Maybe the last one.
Members, hamjambo. Mimi naitwa Mr. Mboro, 4527. I have a question. Members, nimesikiza vile tumeuliza maswali. And in fact, we have genuine reasons why we are asking that. Kuna member ameuliza mambo ya 9,000. Ikana mimi nimeona inakula profits zetu. And then nimesikia CEO akisema hiyo nyumba imeanza kujengwa tayari. Now, we need an explanation. Why are we not capitalizing the 9,000? Because itatoka wapi? Because vile imewekwa kwa budget itakula interest yetu ama the 9 million itakula either interest yetu ama profits yetu in a way. Then that's one question. The 9 million kama vile member mwingine ameuliza kule nje, tafadhali ieleweke vizuri. Inatumika nini? Kununua viti, kununua computer? Because if that is the nature of the opening of the branch, then it should be capitalized as we were told under capital expenditure. Lakini sio kule nyuma ikule interest yetu. When we come to the last page, there are figures that were budgeted there. Budget 2021, we have 5.5 million, ilikuwa ICT, kuna ingine ya furniture, kuna ingine ya building, na ninaamini ya kwamba those figures have been used to bring the budget ya 2022, at least to propose, eh? Now my question is, hizi pesa, the 15 million, za kujenga building head office, eh? Zinatoka wapi? Because bila tena zimewekwa hapa, either zichukue interest yetu ama profits yetu. Okay? Meaning in one or the other, we are using the members' money to build the head office. Hata hii ingine ICT, I mean all those items under capital expenditure. And the item of 9 million for expansion of the where is the money coming from?
Thank you, Bonamboro, for the question. I will start with the 9 million. And 9 million, again, I have said, this amount has not been utilized. And where the branch for Keno is sitting, unless we close it down, which is not prudent because you have members for Keno here. The highway is affecting that branch, and we have to move. And it's a concern, because also the regulator was asking on the same budget. The budget that was set for that branch is 4.6 million. We've not utilized it because, again, we have to get these approvals. For Dagoretti, I told you Dagoretti might be cheaper than Keno. Reasons being, the landlord that is giving us the space, ndio anaanza kujenga. And since ndio anaanza kujenga, we are able to capitalize on his budget as a landlord in constructing some of the structural things that we need to construct on the branch, which will cut our budget downwards. The question that you're asking is, where is the money for expansion coming from? Before we declare dividends, we have to have made this money. And during the year, the profits that we are making must account for this expense. And once this expense have been incurred, we must be looking at a way to break even and make profit from the expenditure that we've done. And that's what I was saying. One of the key requirements from the regulator is, how long will it take for the SACCO to break even from the expenditure of 9 million? And this 9 million is what I'm saying. Once we construct the branch, what will be coming in is income from members who are coming from that. It's business that new business that is coming in, of which this new business is business that you're not been getting. It has been going to other people. So you must have that business. And it's a shame, again, for us to be here at 29th year, meaning 29 years in operation, and only to have 4 branches. Members, you must be willing to spend a little more for you to construct these new branches and to expand. Because without expansion, then it means you only remain in Kikuyu. So it's a question I'm posing to you members. Again, on the capital expenditure, if we are to build, we are not building on our land. So that's not a capital expenditure, that's an expenditure completely, which we must expense. If it was a plot in Wangigi that you're constructing, then you can capitalize it as an expenditure. The end office construction is also asked a question. If you look at the budget for 2021, we still earn the same amount budgeted for an office construction of 15 million. Like this was not achieved. Reasons because there are variations of ratios that we must meet before construction. And all of us, the chairperson, myself, and the supervisor, when they were speaking on one thing, which is we increase our own book. Because if you read that page, if you read that page 25, there's clause 3 from the regulator, which says, the SACCO was non-compliant of non-earning asset ratio, which is stood at 29% against the maximum requirement of 10%. And I'm telling you members, that ratio can only be met if you grow our own book. Because it is that non-earning asset which are land and building, versus the total assets, which is 156 million against 554 million. If you do the maths, we are coming to around 29%, which is the regulator's concern. So, in our construction of the head office, if you don't lend money to grow our own book, it means that dream cannot be achieved immediately. And so, that's why that budget was set for last year. It never materialized. But we're hoping this year, with the demand of loan that we are experiencing at the branches, we are able to increase that loan book and be able to at least do ground floor or groundbreaking of that construction.
I hope the question has been answered by our able CEO. Yes, Mr. Pasina, you want to say something? Okay. Give Mr. Pasina mic.
Although I'm not a Mzungu, I'll mix the Kizungu and Kiswahili. You see, you have to use money to get money. If you want to develop, you have to use money. For example now, Wangige ile benki tulikuwa naye imepita kwa barabara. Kwa hivyo, whether we like it or not, lazima ushift kutoka hapo. What is the shifting? Ni cost. Ukitaka kuhamisha nyumba mahali huko ni cost. Kama tunataka tukue uadvance ama uendelee mbele, utoke ile nyumba ulikuwa unakaa uende kwa nyumba ingine, lazima utumie pesa. Kwa hivyo contribution yangu ni kusema kama itakuwa tunaenda Dagoretti, hafadhali kwenda Dagoretti, tujenge bank huko, tuanze kuinvest huko, tutaendelea kuendelea. Lakini before we build that bank, that pinch lazima itakuja kwetu. Lazima tuta feel that pinch that you are contributing so that you may pata ile kitu unapata. So it's my special request. Even the question that we are supposed to ask is the question of, are we doing the right thing? That is the question. But if you are talking about expansion, to expand ourselves, that one is healthy to everybody who is a member here. But now what we are supposed to do, are we doing the right thing? But if now we talk about the expense, that at which money are we going to spend? It is our money. It is our money which we are going to spend so that we may grow further. Santi.
Let us proceed. And because out of the voted, some of the voted in our budget, let us go all to page 39. And if you go to page 39, if you look at the order of the day, we were on the issue of the budget approval for 2022. We need to go to the item for proposals and resolutions for the day, because some of them are emanating from the budget that has been presented. And the first item, number 39, we are in page 39. The first item, number 1, is NRS head office construction. We had this item last year, and we are requesting the issue of the head office construction to remain the same. And with that, we require to get a proposal and a seconder, such that we shall be in line with our strategic plan. Our strategic plan is, come the year 2026, from 2022 to 2026, we want to have NRS Plaza to say to Naripa, and this almost exorbitant rental fee of 150,000 per month. And you see, we have an lease agreement. For those who are adult, they know once you take a loan, it is subject to an increment. So that's why we are preparing area for us to be able to ensure that if we have our own head office, we are able at least to cut costs. We need to get a proposal and a seconder for the NRS head office construction. Yes? Okay. You'll be the seconder. Kevin, let us get a proposal. You're proposing? It's from outside from the tent.
I'm